myself again. But it's the only...
Good afternoon and welcome to NUFC Matters Matchday Live. It's Everton at home today against Newcastle United. And big thank you to newworkwear.com, specialists in the supply and funding of clothing for the workplace, who've come on board as this month's sponsor. Big thanks to you guys. Teams have been announced. There's the Newcastle United lineup today. We've got Carl Darlow in goal, Jacob Murphy, Fabian Shaw, Jamal Lascelles makes it, passes a fitness test, Federico Fernandez, Jamal Lewis, Jeff Hendrick, Sean Longstaff comes in at the expense of Brian Fraser, Miguel Almiron, Alan Saint-Maximin and Callum Wilson. And on the bench, we've got Gillespie, Clark, Carroll, Joe Linton, Hayden, Manquillo and Fraser. Everton, I suppose the big shock today is the goalkeeping situation, and that sees Jordan Pickford on the bench. Unfortunately for us, there's no supporters there to have a laugh at his expense today, so maybe that's the reason he's not playing. But Olsen steps in, and they go with Kenny, Keane, Mina, Nakunka, Allen, Delph, Decore, Gomez, Sigurdsson and Calvert-Lewin. And on the bench, Pickford is there with Branthwaite, Gordon, Iwobi, Bernard, Tosson and Sims. So, lads, interesting team lineup. We've heard Steve Bruce at the press conference this week say that he's not heard any criticism from supporters, and he hasn't got time to do social media, and 5 at the back's the way forward. So, Spenny, what's your take on today's selection? Happy to see Sean Longstaff back in at the expense of Fraser?
I'm happy to see Longstaff in, but I'm surprised Hendrick's still there and they're dropping Fraser. I would have put Fraser in, or even Hayden as well instead of Hendrick, because he's doing all right, but he's not doing spectacular. He shouldn't. If the beginning of the season with all these signings were made, I would have put Fraser ahead of all of them, him and Wilson, before the other signings. But he's sticking with Hendricks a bit more than it should be. The Cells is injured, so he's near enough injured. So why doesn't he not put Clark in? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Strange one. We'll see what kind of formation he starts with when the game kicks off at 2:00. It's kicking off live on Sky at 2:00. Although you wouldn't think so, as you watch Sky's coverage, which has got Roy Keane on, sitting talking about Manchester United against Arsenal, which of course doesn't kick off till 4:30. Yet to mention the fact that Newcastle are playing, other than a brief mention of the two teams and an interview with Ancelotti. The rest of it's all been about this game. It's as if they'd never played each other before. Absolutely crazy. Daz, Newcastle's starting lineup today. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's what I was expecting as in regards to the formation. Let's say I know we're going to talk about the formation later. Nice to see Longstaff back. I hope he comes back to his best, because a good Sean Longstaff would be really beneficial to us this season. Lascelles, surprised to see Lascelles. I thought he was going to be missing. I thought I was expecting Clark to come in there. I could see it being one up top on with the lads supporting on the wings. But then the interesting point then is suppose the Everton squad, and we know what they're missing a few for suspension and injuries. I'm sure we're going to talk about Pickford. The Ancelotti making maybe a wise move, dropping him. We've probably got into his head already. And then we'll see what the new wing backs, I suppose, the new right and left back do for them, and no Richarlison. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, a lot to talk about Pickford getting death threats and, a lot of abuse, especially from the Liverpool supporters, who are obviously very unhappy that Virgil van Dijk is missing for the rest of the season due to his challenge in the Merseyside derby. So perhaps that is the reason that he's been dropped today. But he has said, Carlo Ancelotti, that he will be starting again next week. So, it could be that. It could be something else. Who knows? Al Walid, good afternoon, mate, and welcome to the show. Your take on today's Newcastle United lineup?
I'm happy Mr. Steve Wraith has changed the formation. I think this is pretty similar to the last one, maybe except Sean Staff instead of Fraser. I think it's it's more like 3-4-2-1 by Saint-Maximin and Almiron behind Wilson. and the 4 Luis, Hendrik, Sean, Murphy, and the 3 centre back. So far, I'm happy with this. I think they just need to practice with this formation more often, and of course, Calvert. We should put all eyes on Calvert today for man-to-man markup.
Okay, Chris, good afternoon, mate. Your take on the lineup today?
Hi, Steve. Yeah, sorry I was a bit late. I was just running a few errands as normal. Not very happy, to be honest, Steve. You know, I'm like Alvlee's just said, I think it will be 3-4-2-1. And I know I'm looking forward to our chat later about it, Daz. Do you know what? I think the biggest disappointment for me is, let's be honest here, Everton are missing their 2 fullbacks. So they're playing in Nkuku at left back and they're playing Kenny at right back. Obviously with Coleman and Luca Dean out. And really, you know, I was thinking to myself, come on, Bruce, this is your chance now. You've got to attack the 2 fullback positions. If you had Maxi running at John Joe Kenny and you had Almiron running at Nkuku, you know, I mean, let's see what happens. Maybe the fullbacks are going to push on. Our wing backs, you know, Jamal Lewis and Murphy, maybe they're going to push on and prove me wrong. But I think if he gets this formation wrong today, based on the players that Everton have got out, it's scandalous, absolutely scandalous. But let's see how the game goes.
Okay, cheers, Chris. Martin, over to you, mate. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, lads. How are we?
Good, mate. Good to see you.
Yeah. LiveScore have the formation down as 5-3-2 for us and 4-3-3 for Everton. So I think Chris's point is right. I think there's an opportunity to get at them this afternoon. So I'm a little surprised maybe at Longstaff. Obviously Hayden's still feeling the hamstring from the other week. I would have preferred to see Fraser. I think I said on last week's match, I would like to see that link up between Fraser and Wilson because it worked well for Bournemouth. So I'm not surprised at Bruce, but you know, I think we've got a better option with those 2. I think there's still room to have him, Almiron, and ASM in there if we play the right way. But like Chris, let's see how it goes today. I think this is Bruce's option to go at it. Obviously, 5 seems to be the preferred. I'm not convinced. I've seen a lot of write-ups saying, you know, we looked more defensively solid last week. Did we? I'm not convinced. You know, I think we were ran on too easy. I think there's an opportunity with Everton's lads being out. I think James being out is a gift for us. So today's the day. Go for it, lads. But I'm not sure on the formation.
Jet says good lineup given the limited options, and Ginger Hoskins says no Pickford today. We haven't got a chance. Obviously, Pickford being out is not gone down too well, Nathan.
No, not at all. I think it's is it due to injury or is it due to just the public
resting him? Listening to Ancelotti's interview this afternoon, he just said he was resting him because you know, he's got a big squad and he wanted to give this other goalkeeper an opportunity to play, but that Pickford would be back in against Manchester United next week.
Yeah, I think for me, from what I've seen from early on in the season, Everton seem like they're one or two good players away from being sort of, you know, be able to challenge in that kind of top 5-6, you know, positions in the table. But every as we've seen with like Liverpool over the past couple of seasons, it's all the difference in the world getting a really solid keeper in the net. Look what happened to them as soon as they signed Alisson. So I think Pickford's time's kind of probably numbered, because I don't think Ancelotti will put up with these mistakes for you know, for the rest of the season, and certainly not going into next season. Like the lads have said, they've got quite a few key players missing. Digne, James Rodriguez, and 1 or 2 others. And I think it's what a chance to have a go at them today. We saw them come unstuck last weekend, and you just hope that the way that we set out and the way that we set our stall out today to play is to try and take advantage of those players missing, because there's no better time to play them than this week with their players missing. I'm a bit worried about Hendrick still in the midfield, but like some people have said, we're a bit short on options still. We talked about whether he's been played at his natural position or not, or one thing and another. But I think in every game for me, he's always tended to, even though he's been out on the right sometimes, he's tended to float into the middle anyway during passages of playing the game. But even though he has been in that central position, he hasn't he hasn't done a lot for me. He's one of those players that cans and knocks it sideways and very rarely looks forward. You can count his forward passes on one hand usually in each half. So with Longstaff in there today, hopefully we've got a bit more of a positive outlook in terms of playing the ball forward. I'd be interested to see whether we go with this free role for Saint-Maximin or not again, whether he's actually playing a position or whether he's just going to float around. I thought he was a bit lazy last week when he was given that free role. I didn't think he didn't do a lot for me at all, and he only sort of did more when he was moved back into that natural sort of left-hand side position for me. I think that's where he plays best with the whole pitch and the whole game in front of him, with the back four in front of him for him to run at. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I think we're all second guessing Bruce again today, so it could be 8-1-1 for all we know.
Yeah, interesting stat from Martin on the chat saying that Hendrick and Almiron both ran 12k against Wolves, but only Almiron got the praise for working hard. Yeah, I mean, a lot of players do work off the ball that some fans don't tend to see. Chris, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Like some of the other lads said, I'm a little confused about the inclusion of Fraser on the bench. I don't know why he doesn't put him in the starting lineup. But it does seem to me that Bruce is doing a little bit of how he would typically line up against like a top of the table club, being more defensive than putting all of his attack in the lineup. And I hope we don't park the bus and just play defensively. But I'm intrigued to see how Longstaff does in there, but I don't know if it's his ideal pairing. I know that Malcolm and John Gibson had talked about how who he could pair well with in this central midfield, and I don't know if Bruce he hasn't exactly listened to John and Malcolm if he ever does. Maybe he should. I feel like this is an okay lineup, but it's not particularly their strongest lineup to take it to Everton. It's more sort of sit back and let the game come to them, and then be a counterattack. But I'm not confident this is their best 11 they could put out there.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting. Steve Bruce just given his pre-match interview, just about 15 minutes to go before kick-off. Martin, I don't suppose you're watching that, are you, mate?
No, I'm not.
You got so sick of it last week, you decided not to listen to his patter this week.
I just had him on, then I listened to him. Then he was saying,
"Go on, then, Nathan. Give us Steve Bruce's words of wisdom pre-match."
It wasn't really like a full pre-match thing. They just asked him about Everton's lineup and not really anything about our own team. He just mentioned they asked him about players missing for Everton, and he said he whether he was glad to see some of those players missing, like that we talked about for Everton. And he said they've got a very strong squad anyway, and it's not surprising that teams are picking up injuries. And that was the kind of long and short of it, really. That's all he said. So nothing about hoping for a win, nothing about we'll have to play our best or anything. But yeah, just talking about Everton instead.
Well, to be fair, he hasn't got much time because all they've been talking about is Manchester United against Arsenal for the last 45 minutes. So it's as if it's the only game of football that's been played this season, which is what they tend to do, to be honest. So, Spenny, what's your feeling today? Are you confident? Do you think Newcastle's going to get something out of this game?
Some of the main players are out, like for Everton, aren't they? Rodriguez is it? And Allen looks a decent turn. I think we'll get beaten, yeah, unfortunately. I can't see us doing anything at all.
Okay, that's not positive, Spenny. What's your prediction?
2-1 to them.
2-1 to Everton. Okay, Spenny. Daz, the eternal optimist.
I got distracted. Someone said looked like I had a fancy bow in my hair. Makes a change from the Mickey Mouse ears last week. But I'm going to go for 1-1. I'm going to go, and with the slight chance that we could snatch it. I've got more positive as the days go on, but I was expecting Pickford for a fumble, but we'll have to do it the hard way. Maybe the likes of Saint-Max and Sean Longstaff combining like they did against Bournemouth last year. Something a bit of brilliance to get us a goal and maybe even a victory. But I think My head says 1-1.
Okay, 1-1. Al-Walid, your prediction for today. Do you think Newcastle will get anything out of this game?
Actually, we have to admit, Mr. Steve Bruce, he's a buoyant collector more than coach. He's not playing for fun. I think he will get something from the game. I saw some statistic. We beat Everton last year in March, so I know the team is Everton developed better this season, but with some players in Everton like James Rodriguez not playing, and Dijni, I think the defender. I think we can, and they get beat last time for first time the season. Everton. I guess we can win today. It's not impossible.
Okay, what's your prediction then, Al-Walid?
Let's say 2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 to Newcastle. Okay, we've got a defeat, a draw, and a win so far, Chris. Chris Hall, what's your take on today? Are you confident?
Do you know what, Steve? I've got to be confident, haven't I? This is my derby. This season with us not having Liverpool. With us not having Sunderland, and my wife's a blue. One of my lads is a blue. So yeah, I'm just totally confident. Do you know what? We've got to give it a good go today. And I know people are saying, it's a negative that Pickford's missing out, but let's not forget this. Olsen hasn't played yet, so he's going to be nervous. It's going to be a big game for him today. The fullbacks are out. James Rodriguez is out. We've got to get on the. I constantly say this. We've got to get on the front foot. We've got to have a go at them. Let's not worry about what they can do to us. Let's get at them. So for me, I'm going to say 2-0. Maxi to get both.
2-0 as Sky run back through some of the good games and some of the bad games that we've had against Everton at St James's Park, and the sights of Alan Shearer's wonderful goal at the Gallagher end gets played with Shola Amiobi reeling away to celebrate with him. But some good memories and some bad memories against watching Everton. It's certainly a game that produces some goals, Martin. What's your take on today's game, and how do you see it going?
Yeah, I'm actually feeling quite positive. Maybe the ghost of Daz at Halloween night has come into me. Who knows? I'm going to go 3-1 today. Penman's not on here, so I'll take his 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, I think we'll do okay. But I want to see us be positive from the start. I think Chris made a good point. We've got to go at them. Go at it. Attack. Without the fans, we're still at home. I think the likes of some of the lads coming in, Longstaff coming in, they've got an opportunity now with Hayden and that being out to put. I think some of these lads need to start putting their names on the shirt and earning the shirt. So for me, I'll go 3-1 and Wilson to get a brace. There you go.
Okay, that's a bold prediction. Nathan, what's your view on today's game, and how do you see it going?
Yeah, I think as Martin and Chris said, we need to start early today. I don't want to see us have to go behind before we start playing like what we've done at various other points throughout this season so far. I think they have got quite a few players missing, like we touched upon. It's a really good chance to get a result against these. There's no reason why we can't with the lineup that we've put out with some good attacking players on the field there. We just need to get the ball to Wilson and be in and around him and not leave him so isolated. And I think we've got a good chance. But we've got the potential to make any team look great on our day, haven't we? That's the thing with Newcastle this season. We make other teams look better than they are. So yeah, for me, I think it's going to be a draw today. I can't see us winning this one, unfortunately, because not that we don't have it in our locker to beat them, but I just don't think that we'll go for it. I don't think we'll go for it at all today. I'd love to be wrong, but I think it's going to be a draw, probably 1-1. I think they'll score, and I think we'll nick one back, maybe like last week.
Okay, 6 extra minutes in the game at Villa Park, but that's not going to be enough for Villa to salvage anything from this game. Aston Villa 1, Southampton 4. Seems like Aston Villa's bubble has burst. Chris, your thoughts on today's game and your prediction, please.
Yeah, without Everton with no James in the lineup, I think their attack is weakened. Maybe gives us some advantage. I was maybe initially going to say before James being out that this would be a loss but I'll go with a 2-2 draw. I'll put Wilson and Almiron to score.
Okay, 2-2. I'm not sure Newcastle can get 2 goals. Me personally, I'm going to go for a 1-1 today. I do feel a draw is the best result we can get. It's going to be a tough game, but I do think that the players that are missing today for Everton will have a greater effect on the game than the players that we can put out. Longstaff, if he can turn up today and do what we know he can do, I think could have a major effect on the game. I think Longstaff would be my favourite to score today. That's who I would waste my money on down at the bookies. Barry Hogan asks a question, which we'll take into the kickoff. What do you think, guys, of Brucey saying that most of the fans support him? Spenny?
Right. I don't know where he's gone to say that. Like, he must be really down in London somewhere, is he? I don't know. I don't back him. I think he's really useless. Simple as that. I've never known any supporter like him. Tell you the truth.
I mean, there was a lot of support from last season, Spenny. There was a lot of people who were willing to give him a chance, etc., which is only right. He was in his first season, and despite him not being, anything other than, 11th choice, then we had to give him the support. But he's come to Newcastle in strange times, because there's no supporters there. So he's not going to be able to get any criticism.
I respect him for taking on the job because no one else wanted it at the time. That's about it. Because I think the only person that's running that football team is his assistant. Haven't you? He picks the team, I think. He's just gone on the mic.
Okay, yeah. Stu Penman says, afternoon, lads. I see Martin's another convert to the 3-1 cult. Team selection's okay. Just wondering who the other 2 subs will be alongside Joe Linton. Yeah, guaranteed. Not the sure as eggs. Joe Linton will be on that pitch at some point today, and it won't be to, just to clap the teams off. Daz, what's your take on Steve Bruce?
Just when Joe, just before I get to that, when Joe Linton does go on the pitch, that's 10 games. That's his lot for you, then, Steve.
Yes, don't worry about that. I've been counting them down on my bed.
So and Steve Bruce, I don't know what bubble he's in, but he's listened to Sky Sports too much and the pundits. And as you said before, and a few people have said, like, if the fans were in the ground, he'd know that the fans aren't backing him. But yeah, he's living on a different planet these days.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Al-Walid, obviously, you're living across in Saudi Arabia, so you don't see the same type of media coverage that we get over here about Steve Bruce. But other than 1 or 2 pundits who seem religiously to stick by Steve Bruce, supporters, on the other hand, have turned against him in my view, and you'll have seen that on Twitter. So, do you think Steve Bruce is just putting what we would call the blinkers on when he's ignoring the truth that's around him?
Actually, I'm aware. I'm seeing in Twitter all the media, all the news about Newcastle and Steve Bruce. I think regarding the formation, I think he's maybe he see this the only way he can put all good players in the field at the same time. He's of course he have he's if I can say positive and negative. As positive, you can't predict the choosing of the players. I can see, as I said, he's a buoyant collector. I think this is the main reason he stayed, for until this far. He know how to collect points more than a style or playing or making a good team. The other teams become afraid from this team, but no, we didn't see that. It's unexpected. I think any team play against Newcastle, he doesn't know what's gonna happen. He's gonna win or gonna lose or gonna draw. It's a wonder.
Okay, Stuart Bradley, yeah, you're more than welcome, mate. He says no Everton watch along today, so we'll listen in with you guys if that's okay. I think there will be goals in this one today, 2-2. Yeah, there's a couple of people think that. I've gone for 1-1. A couple of Newcastle lads have gone for 3-1, but yeah, it's a game that often brings in results. Chris Hall, your views on Steve Bruce and he's obvious oblivion to what's going on around him, that fans don't really want him there, but he seems to think everyone's backing him.
I think he's referring to people in the street, isn't he? So if people, you know, if he's walking through the streets of Newcastle at some point and people are going over to him, I think, you know, people are genuinely more nicer when you see them. I don't think he's referring to the vast majority of Newcastle fans who, you know, I don't think are behind him. I don't think you know, his brand of football or the way that he sets his team out, I don't think anyone's behind him, if I'm honest. I would like to speak to somebody who tells me that Bruce is doing a fantastic job and who is really happy with Steve Bruce, who is a Newcastle fan. I'd be very interested to speak to someone, because I you know, from what I've seen and what I've heard, I don't know anybody who's happy with him. However, you know, if like I say, if someone was if he was walking through the street and someone went over to him, I think they wouldn't say anything negative to him anyway. So maybe that's what he's referring to. That can all that he's been referring to, surely.
Okay.
I think the only thing he's not happy about them, Steve, is these bloody butcher who sells them bacon.
Well, I presume he lives in Ponteland, so he's not going to get much stick off fans in Ponteland, that's for certain. Big welcome to Joey Collins. He messaged today and asked if he could come on if there was a space. So welcome to Joey. How are you?
Hiya, mate. Now, all right, Steve. Thanks for having us on. Yeah.
No problem, mate. No problem. Good to have you on, mate. Tell us a little bit about your history as a Newcastle fan, just as the teams are getting run through on Sky again. The teams are on the pitch ready for the kickoff. But how long have you supported Newcastle? What was your first game?
Well, all my life. I'm only down the road from Spennymag. I'm from Newton Aycliffe, so I'm about 30 miles outside of Newcastle. But since I was a baby, I've had a Newcastle hat on my head. My brother took me when I was my brother's a lot older than me, you see. He's 12 years older than us. So he used to take us down to the Gallagher when he was a season ticket holder, and he'd take us when I was a baby. Like, so my first actual game was the 5-0 thrashing, the Albert chip back in '96.
Yeah.
So and I had a season ticket up until a couple of years ago, but work commitments and everything else like that, I don't go as much now, to be fair. But obviously we can't go at the moment with everything that's going on with the world anyway. But yeah, just hoping for a decent display today, to be quite honest with you. I've been a little bit disillusioned with the way that we've been playing and the style of football under Bruce, to be fair. So hoping, I mean, the only thing I was thinking before I came on the show today was, I remember last year vividly when we played Man United, when Matty Longstaff made his debut, when we had like the backs against the wall and we were playing dreadful football then. So whether or not, I know he's read his luck quite well over the last, since his tenure, to be fair, Bruce, but for some reason, I'm quite optimistic today that hopefully, fingers crossed, we might pull a cat out there, put a better performance in anyway. You know? Yeah, that's what I was looking for. But
yeah,
I don't know. I'm quite happy with the team selection today. So let's see what happens anyway.
Good stuff, mate. Good to have you on. Welcome along to the panel, and look forward to hearing your views tonight. And welcome to Pete as well. We'll come to you in a bit, Pete. Martin, just a quick one on Steve Bruce's the teams lined up around the centre circle, just to have a minute's silence for Armistice Day and for Nobby Styles, I would presume. But yeah, Martin, your views on Steve Bruce's blindness towards the clear dislike for his managerial nows.
Only thing I can think of is he must have got a text off Luke Edwards this morning and said, "Say that, lads." So, look, I think, you know, when we started up these shows, that, you know, I think we've all, to a degree, been quite vocal of Bruce. For me, it's, you know, just tactically, he just doesn't have it for me. When we have had the back up against the wall, you know, myself and Daz, all the lads on this panel have said the same thing. What's the plan B? What are we doing? What happens when we go behind? We don't start playing till we go behind. You know, we've already said on this game, are we going to go front foot and go at it, or are we going to wait till we go behind and then play? So, you know, I think a really big tell for me was the game against Newport, when it came to the penalties and the huddles were there and Bruce was nowhere to be seen. I just don't believe that's how a manager should be. I don't believe he got the team going. I think he has rode his luck, and I think, you know, we are starting to get found out quite easily in some games. So, no, I'm not a fan, but, you know, if he feels right to say that himself, good luck to him, but not in my case.
Nathan, is Steve Bruce right? Has he got the backing of the fans?
I mean, I think when he came in, like we've talked about, everyone It's poison chalice of a job, really, isn't it? It's probably one of the most difficult jobs in the Premier League, to come in to Newcastle and to please the fans and to make everyone happy. I think everyone gave him the benefit of the doubt when he came in. But what we've seen, you see other managers come into clubs and have an immediate impact on the team and change the style of play immediately. What we see with Bruce is excuses upon excuses. He's still making excuses now. Like in the build up to this game this week, he was saying, I've only been here 15 months. It takes time to change things. We see other managers go into other clubs and they change things overnight, and they'll change things that you'll see that impact straight away. So yeah, I think he makes excuses. There's a lot of criticism about performances, team selection, tactics in the game management. There's criticisms about his substitutions, the negative way that we're playing, how boring the football is to watch. So for me, it's worrying. It just shows that he has zero insight into the wider picture around the club, and he's so out of touch with the fans. He's not tuned into the fan narrative at all. It's worrying, but for me, it's completely unsurprising.
Okay, Pete, welcome to this afternoon's show. We're just asking about Steve Bruce. He seems to think that the supporters are fully behind him. At least the supporters he's met have said he's doing a great job.
I don't agree with that. I'm not sure which fans he's spoken to, but a lot of Newcastle fans are not happy with what they're seeing overall, and I think that's been sort of discussed between us all, and the comments on our show and over social media and just in general, really. I think everyone feels the same way. And there was a point made just a second ago. We don't know what the plan B is, but in fact, we don't even know what the plan A is, and that's part of the problem. We don't know our own style of play, and I don't think the players know that, and I think that's why a lot of the players are not showing their true ability at the moment. So I'm not convinced on that.
Okay, cheers, Pete. 2 minutes into the game at St James's Park, Newcastle United 0, Everton 0, and Newcastle attacking the Leazes end at the start of the match. Just shows you what I know about football. The Aston Villa game did in fact finish Aston Villa 3, Southampton 4. Aston Villa got 2 late goals in that game. Quite flattering for Aston Villa, that by all accounts. But it's all about the goal difference for a lot of teams when it comes to the crunch at the end of the season. So yeah, a late fight back by Aston Villa, but it was too little, too late. So opening lineups for those of you who are joining us late today. There was just the one change in Newcastle United's team. Sean Longstaff came in and Ryan Fraser dropped to the bench. The fear of losing Jamal Lascelles in the centre of defence was quelled when he passed a fitness test prior to the game. So it gave us that lineup there. And on the bench, we've got Gillespie, Carroll, Hayden, Fraser, Clark, Joe Linton and Manquillo. Everton lined up without Jordan Pickford. Jordan didn't make it, unfortunately, for various reasons. But Olsen stepped in. Not a bad keeper, it has to be said. And then the following players lined up: Kenny Keane, Mina, Nkanku, Allen, Delph, Doucouré, Gomez, Sigurdsson and Calvert-Lewin. And on the bench for them, Pickford, Branthwaite, Gordon, Iwobi, Bernard, Tosson and Simmons. Couple of birthdays today as well. Carl Court celebrates his birthday today. And from somebody who didn't quite do what we were expecting at Newcastle to somebody who did, Benny Arentoft, of course, one of our scorers in the Fairs Cup final, celebrates his birthday today. He scored against Ujpestoza in the second leg. So a big happy birthday to him. So opening exchanges, and it looks a bit tight at the moment. It's still 0-0, 4 minutes on the clock. I can hear someone's commentary, so if somebody just wants to mute their mic if they've got a commentary going on in the background, knock that off, because we do get done for that with copyright. So that's great stuff. Spenny, opening exchanges, your thoughts?
Looks like they're going to play the back, aren't they? It's mostly going all the right-hand side again. Nothing on the left again. He's just playing on the right, didn't he? All the time.
Yeah, it's quite a pedestrian start at the moment. I mean, is Alan Saint-Maximin got that free roll that we talked about last week, do you think?
Looks like he's gone behind Wilson again, hasn't he? Just walking about. I would have put Longstaff there, mate, because he had one decent game behind the striker, didn't he?
Yeah, it's another
Well, I would've
partnership
put
It's another partnership in the middle. Do you get the feeling Bruce is potentially looking at, looking for his best pairing in there? I mean, Hayden's fit. He's quite clearly able to come on and start. You would have thought Hayden would have been back in, and Bruce seems to get on well with him. But he's put Longstaff in against Hendrick. Do you think he's trying to find his ideal pairing in there while Shelby's injured?
I think he is, yeah, definitely. But I would have put the experience there. Like, I would have put Hayden there, for me. But he's the manager. He picks the team way. He's supposed to anyway. But we'll just have to say, won't we? It's all like on the right-hand side, so the game plan's just kick and rush again, isn't it?
The first Sky stat comes up. Anyone who watches the match day live on a regular basis will be used to me picking these out. But errors that have led to goals. Martin Dubravka's up there with 3 actually since Ancelotti's appointment. But Pickford, who they keep focusing on, who's on the bench, he's had 4 since Ancelotti was appointed. As Callum Wilson goes through, attacking the Everton goal, and unfortunately doesn't get his shot on target, hits it well wide, and no offside there. Probably should have done better there, Daz.
Yeah, it didn't work out for him really, I suppose. Just really on the lineup, we look like we're doing going for 5-3-2 with Saint-Max and the kind of that free role that he had last week that we said maybe Almiron might be better suited to. I'd be worried though about the likes of Longstaff covering for Murphy on the right back position as it goes down that way again. We'll see how it plays out, but yeah, we look like we're going at it more this week to start off with. That long may it continue.
Al-Walid, what's your thoughts on the opening 6 or 7 minutes?
I know Everton, it's one of the team he played for last second. It's a very difficult team, so they want to make up for last week. They look, I don't know how they say it in English. They just everyone checking on the other, every side checking on the other side quietly, and I think it's gonna getting interested after a team score a goal.
Chris, you've been promoted up to next to the logo there, but you've managed to switch your position, so you're not hiding behind it, mate. Well done, good tech. As your thoughts on the lineup, the formation, and the opening 7 or 8 minutes. Chris, you're on.
He's managed to get his camera angles right, but he can't work his microphone.
You've gone on mute, Chris. You've gone on mute.
This is Murphy's first home game at St. James Park since September 2018, so for more than 2 years. So maybe that's a good omen that he's due for to do something special for the club. Hopefully, I am interested to see exactly, like other lads have said, whether Maximin has the free role that he had last week. And how they integrate Longstaff. I know that John and Mal were talking about who's the ideal pairing in the middle, and they were saying that Sean Longstaff should get a chance there, perhaps with Hayden. So it is interesting that they didn't go with that pairing with Shelby out. But I mean, it does sort of seem like it could be a 3-5-2, or who knows what the formation was that Steve Bruce drew up, whether they actually execute that or just kind of do their own plan. But so far, kind of a middling performance. That they haven't really controlled possession or had possession controlled by Everton. So work in progress, as Steve Bruce said.
Pete, your views on the opening 9-10 minutes?
Well, we've had the more of the possession, which is fine, but it's just mostly getting played across the back. What I have noticed is that we've got Saint-Maximin and Almiron are willing to make forward runs along with Wilson, but for some reason, players are not willing to play that ball. There's been a couple of times in the last minute or so where Almiron and Saint-Maximin have made really good runs, and they've just not received the ball because the players decided to play the easy ball inside rather than play that ball over the top and really commit their defenders. So, we're home. We should be really trying to put it on them. And to be honest, in the first 10 minutes, Everton, still early days, but Everton really haven't shown me anything that they're having anything with any attacking intent at the moment. So this is the best time to be really on the front foot.
Yeah, okay. Joey, your take on the opening exchanges?
Yeah, it's been a little bit scrappy, to be fair, hasn't it? You know, they haven't been controlling possession that great. It just seems to me, though, I mean, the way that we're set up with 5 at the back, I know the 2 full-backs bombing on, but it just seems quite negative to be playing at home. I know we're playing Everton, who are top of the league, but I know they've had a great start to the season, so I can understand from one point of view why Bruce would probably want to try and keep it tight. But just mirroring what you've just said there, you know, they're trying to play the easy ball, and I understand that they've had more of the possession, but it's trying to play that forward ball that they seem to be lacking, sorely lacking. A lot of sideways passing going on, and it just seems to me there's not a lot of penetration. But it's, you know, I mean, it's just like the commentary made during midweek about how Bruce said about how they can't be entertainers, which on one hand I can understand with the squad that we've got to play within our means, but it just seemed very negative, you know, and it's just, that's the trouble, you know, when I'm watching us, especially at home. I know there's no crowds in, so how much that would make a difference, we don't know, but it just seems very negative, and we're happy to, like, as more as the game goes on, I hope we don't start sitting deep. We've been doing that lately, and then just inviting pressure on ourselves. But so far, it's not been too bad. Can't complain too much.
No, definitely not. Chris Hall, your views on the opening exchanges between Newcastle United and Everton? It's 0-0 at the moment.
Well, Steve, if you'd asked me about 3 minutes ago, I'd have been quite happy. But the last 2 or 3 minutes, yeah, we seem to have been penned back a little bit. Everton don't look themselves today. They look nervous to me. I think Jacob Murphy's made a really good start to the game. Sean Longstaff's been in and around, buzzing around, which is great. We've just got to really try and get a foothold on the game and not let them get the confidence up. Because, like I say, they look disjointed today. They don't look confident, and it makes me feel that you know they're missing some of their really key players today. And I think that's showing in the team. They just don't look right, Everton. They look nervous. So we've got to capitalise on that. And, you know, whilst we've made it a promising start, you know, there's been no real notable efforts. Obviously, Wilson had that half chance. It was a shame he didn't get that on target. But yeah, we need to capitalise and try and get on the front foot.
Yep, okay, 0-0 at St James's Park. Newcastle United 0, Everton 0. 13 minutes played. And Martin, over to you, mate. What's your take on the first 13, 14 minutes or so?
Yeah, I think we've been okay. I think Chris and Joey made a good point about, you know, the formation. I think the thing I've noticed, it seems to be more a 3-5-2. It looks like Lewis and Murphy are a little bit higher maybe than they were last week. Yeah. So I'd like to see, I think today is a good game opportunity for Lewis to maybe get a bit further up than he has done the last few games. If you've seen, I think there was a graphic there last week, his heat map when he was at Norwich, he was spending a lot more time on that left-hand side further up the pitch. So I think he's got an opportunity to do that today. I think the other thing to notice, when the ball went up to Wilson when he broke through, there was only really Saint-Maximin in and around him. Almiron wasn't really busting a gut to get up. So biggest concern I'd have with this formation is when we do break and we do get the ball, I think our front two look a little bit, or front 1.5 look a little bit lonely. So I'd be interested to see how quick we can get more bodies up to support into that final third for me.
Yep, okay. Nathan, your views?
Yeah, I think this is the most of the ball I think I've seen us have all season, to be honest, so far. We haven't done a great deal with it. Again, like I touched on before the game, not too sure about this free role for Saint-Maximin at all, or even if he is sort of designated to be playing further up front alongside Wilson, because it kind of, for me, I think Almiron kind of struggles breaking down the line. I think what we've seen and what we've got a lot of success from this season has been getting the ball down that left-hand side, Lewis linking up with Saint-Maximin who can make a clever run, who can take someone on and take a defender out of the game, and that's where we've got a lot of joy this season. But Almiron doesn't seem to be doing that. He seems to struggle to make a run, and he never takes a man on, and I think that is what unlocks teams for us is Saint-Maximin having a run from deep. That's what's unlocked teams for us so far this season, because we don't have that creative passer in the centre of midfield. So it's got to come from someone taking someone on. It's usually Saint-Maximin. So for me, putting him further up the pitch, it just kind of takes him out of. We're not playing to his strengths at all in that respect. Everton are creeping a little bit more into it now. They've settled a bit better, but I think Wilson's looking isolated again. And yeah, it seems like we're struggling to find that unlocking pass, but I don't really think we've got anyone in our team who can do that. But on the positive side, I think Murphy's looking like he's having a good game. He's got a real good chance here to make that position his own, that sort of right wing back position. He's had a few little good runs, good touches, and a few good tackles and interceptions. So yeah, steady away, but it's a lot of work to do yet.
Yeah, Newcastle United 0, Everton 0, and more bad news for the boys of 1966. Bobby Charlton's wife has come out today and said that Sir Bobby's been diagnosed with dementia. So another bit of bad news for the boys of 66 this week off the back of Nobby Styles' death yesterday. So not good news at all. Spenny, a lot of people talking about Darlow. It's a topic that tends to come up every week when we talk about the goalkeeping situation. Distribution hasn't been too good in these opening 17 minutes, and giving the ball away quite cheaply, and looking that it hasn't led to an error. A lot of people saying it's only a matter of time when Dubravka's fit that he gets back in.
I think he's got to come back in. He's like they're saying, he's kicking the ball up there and just losing the ball straight away because there's 5 players around Wilson all the time because he's playing up front. It's when you got one up front, you shouldn't be kicking the ball right up. You should be just kicking it in the middle of the park or on the wings where there's going to be players there. There's no go kicking it up to the one striker who's up there with 5 defenders around him, is it? You know what I mean? It's a bit of common sense, isn't it? But don't get it wrong, the lad's done well. I had my doubts after the first game of the season. I was a bit worried about him being dodgy, but he's come up trumps for me. We couldn't have expected any better of him.
No, definitely not. Daz, Darlow not had a great start of the game.
No. He's done one crossfield ball pass and it got intercepted, and luckily he went for a throw, and then there was a second one about 5 minutes later. But on the whole, Darlow has really surprised me. I was worried at the very start of the season. Of course, Dubravka comes straight back in when he's fully fit. But he's really impressed me. And I know there a couple of weeks ago there was talk of maybe linking him to England at the England role. Just keep the head. I thought that the potential goalkeeping errors would come from the other side, but let's hope it doesn't come from our side.
Al-Walid, I've got to ask you what happened with the basketball game in Saudi Arabia before I ask you about Darlow.
Yeah, actually it was the final of Saudi Wheelchair League, local. Yeah, and our team in Riyadh won the tournament for this year.
Well done. Congratulations, mate.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Good stuff. Well done. So what about Darlow? He's not had a great start to the game today. He's looking a bit shaky, but he's done okay, hasn't he? Deputising for Dubravka.
Actually, it's not like I think maybe I think Carlo Ancelotti, he knows that Steve Wraith and Newcastle will play on mistakes, so he tried to do maybe the opposite. Try to make I notice pressure on the player of the front of Everton to make a pressure, as you see now, make a pressure on the 3 centre back to make them make a mistake. So I think we are not used to face this situation, and maybe Darlow he tried to be extra careful, he tried to look confident. I think this is the decision making. He should kick the ball very strongly or just pass it to each way. I think it's just nervous, and they didn't get used to this pressure from the other team. So far, he's doing good in the last matches, and we didn't think of Dubravka much, and we hope continue this way.
Okay, Chris, what's your take on Darlow's start to the game? 20 minutes in.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be much linking up. Wilson seems pretty isolated up front. It seems like most of their offense so far is back passes to Darlow, and he's not a great distributor of the ball like Dubravka is. So in that respect, we've been kind of tepid and inept in our sort of forward pressure. I would say that we need to see more kind of holding and sort of forward play from the midfield. I mean, having five, what's the point of having five of them in there if all they're doing is passing back to Darlow? It doesn't seem like Everton is like people have said, they're kind of playing nervous and kind of wary at the front, so at the front of the top of the league. So it seems like this is a chance to really take it to them, and we're not kind of grabbing the game match by the throat and really forcing it on them. It seems like we're just kind of holding back and waiting for something to happen rather than forcing the issue. I'd like to see them be more aggressive.
Okay, Pete, your views on Darlow today?
There's always one that I always don't want to eat. Jesus. Anyway, as I was saying to myself before I clicked on, it's purely distribution. That's all it's been so far, because it's not been tested. They haven't got close enough to the goal to be tested. I don't think Everton have started well at all. But equally, the players are putting him under unnecessary pressure. They keep giving the ball back to him when we should be looking forward. All we're doing at the moment is just trying to hold possession. We're not trying to attack with any intent at all. So if you're gonna keep playing it back to the goalkeeper, at some point he's gonna fluff one or be put under a little bit of pressure. So partly his fault, partly the other players that keep putting him in that situation. But like I said, he's not really been tested so far, so not the worst thing in the world. But going back to what you were saying, one of the guys was saying about Dubravka, he's our first choice goalkeeper. He comes straight back in my opinion. He is the number one. He's the one that's been doing it for 3 years now. Darlow's done very, very well. Surprised a lot of us, if we're honest. But Dubravka's our number one.
Okay, cheers, Pete. Joey?
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest with you, I think it's more of a Premier League thing. The way the distribution of goalkeepers, it seems to me there's an obsession with playing out from the back, and sometimes maybe his decision making's come into question a little bit today. If he needs to clear his lines, clear his lines. I mean, I'm not a goalkeeper personally, but one of the, even in, like trickling down into local football, if you need to clear your lines because you're under pressure, instead of making a daft mistake with his distribution, just do that. I don't think there's a problem with that. But it seems to me now every team has to play out from the back. Every goalkeeper has to be a good distributor, which is fair and well if you can do that. But you've got to play at your strengths as well. And by constantly trying to play out from the back, when we make any stupid mistakes and get caught out, then it's just a foolish, way to intercept a goal or anything like that. So for me, he hasn't. To be fair to him, though, on the whole this season so far, I have been quite impressed with him. He's managed to do better than what I was expecting, but obviously we need Dubravka back. He was our player of the season last year, and to be fair, I think it's a no-brainer. As soon as he's fit, then we'll be putting him straight back in the team. But to me, I don't think he's been that bad, but definitely want Dubravka back whenever he's fit.
Okay, Chris Hall.
Same as what the lads have said, really, Steve. Yeah, there's been no chances for Everton so far. Darlow's distribution's not been great, but yeah, Dubravka straight back in once he's fit. But yeah, Darlow's impressed me. In the games that he has come in, I think he's done a lot better than what I thought he would. He's definitely he's a good number 2 for us. I would definitely not look for him to be our number 1. It's definitely Dubravka for me. I just wanted to add as well, Jacob Murphy's had a bit of a warning there from Everton's left back in Cuckoo. He skinned him a few minutes earlier, and he's got a lot of pace on him. So I've noticed a lot of Everton's attacks are coming down their left-hand side, our right-hand side. So that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. But yeah, it's been a slow start to the game. Both teams looking quite poor, actually, if I'm honest. And it's just keeping hold of the possession. And it's looking like it. Well, it's at this present moment, it's looking like one mistake could win the game.
Newcastle United 0, Everton 0, 26 minutes on my clock played, and 44% possession Newcastle have had, 56% possession to Everton. So it is quite tight, Martin.
Yeah, I think I suppose to go to the first question, the goalkeeper piece, look, Dubravka's first choice. I think Darlow, the stats show you this season he's a good keeper and the amount of saves he's had to make because we've got a really poor defence. So for me, absolutely, Dubravka comes straight back in, first choice keeper. But Darlow is a good, steady keeper. For me, I really liked him. Probably, he played really well for us in the Championship season. In particular, the saves down against Forest when he saved against Lansbury. So he is a good keeper. He's a good shot stopper. And I think we've seen that this season. So I don't think the lad's done anything wrong for me. He's a bit slow off the mark today, but you know what? I think Joey's right. If you're not that good at playing out of the back, then don't put the lad under pressure. Game-wise, I think what we're starting to see now, kind of 26, 27 minutes gone now, Everton are starting to push us back a bit. We're starting to go deeper. We're not getting up, anywhere past the halfway line at the minute. Everton are starting to come into the game and control the ball a bit more. So, yeah, look, telltale signs seem to be there again. We're starting to drop a little bit deep with the lines. So, yeah, slightly nervy at the minute.
Okay, Nathan.
Yeah, I think we knew what we were going to get with Darlow, in that he's a great shot stopper and he's not too great with his feet or with his distribution. That's something that Dubravka does bring to the table, isn't it? It's excellent distribution, and he gets us on the front foot a lot quicker. And I think that's something that we're missing, especially when we don't have that that natural sort of link between the midfield and attack and the defence in the midfield. So I think he's done a very steady job for us. I think when we all sat here talking at the start of the season about where we needed to strengthen and where we were looking at for the transfer window, and we were looking at first choice keepers. When we talked about the Dubravka injury early on, we were all very worried about Darlow, and we were talking about like recalling Woodman, or if that was a possibility and that kind of thing. But he's done very well, I think, for me. I think it just goes to show the amount of shots that he's faced. Every team we've played against this season, even in the games where we've won, there's been periods of those games where we've really just sat back and let those teams attack us and let them run right and have free shots at goal. So, a lesser keeper would have conceded more than he has so far this season with the amount of shots that he's faced. So I don't think we can complain. Obviously, he's not as good as Dubravka, but we can only go with what we've got. And for me, he's not a foot wrong, really. We obviously gave Gillespie a chance in the cup game, and he fluffed it, didn't he? After 15 minutes, he let that shocking goal in against Newport, and that was it made for a really difficult evening. So on balance, from what I've seen from both of them, obviously Darlow's he's done nothing wrong. I think this game is getting a little bit sloppy now. We seem to be in control of the ball early on, but we're getting a bit sloppy with the ball now. This formation that we're running now with like the three centre halves and the two kind of wing backs is it's leaving us looking very narrow, because their wingers are pushing our full backs back, and we don't have those natural wingers to push them back in the same way. So yeah, I think we're looking very narrow. We don't have any real natural width at the minute, but that's what happens when you play this kind of formation and you don't get those full backs forward.
Yeah, good points. We're coming up to the half-hour mark now. Newcastle United 0, Everton 0. A few people asking what our thoughts were on the money. Mike Ashley, Twitter going offline. Some people saying being suspended. He decided to go off himself. Spenny, sad to see him go. Money Mike Ashley.
I am a bit, yeah, because I liked some of his tweets. They were quite funny. But I didn't like how he went on the last lot. I'm going to go up Mitch and that. Wasn't happy about that at all. Especially with the way he's calling and shaming them. And like Mitch could have called and shamed who they were, and he never. He just told them, never told the names or nothing like that. I think that was a bit about order, like.
Yeah, it was a strange situation, and there's more than one person running the account as well. So Mitch obviously gets on well with two of the guys. The other guy obviously took a little bit of umbrage at the fact that we were talking about it. But when you put your head above the parapet, this is what happens. Daz, sad to see him go.
Yeah, it's sad to see him go, but he's not gone. He's back every couple of minutes again.
Well, there's a few snide accounts come up as well, mate. You've got to be very careful, and some of these accounts aren't quite what they seem. You've got to be very careful. But yeah, he did pop back on just to have a little comment, but that was good.
Go on.
Go on and say, Max.
Newcastle broke from their own half, and Saint-Maximin was put clean through, and fair play to Osman, came steaming out and managed to pull off a save. Saint-Maximin got the ball back, but Everton defenders got in and cleared the ball. But that was a clear chance for Newcastle, Daz.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was going to be 1-0 to us there. I'd have to see the replay back. I only saw the actual shot, really. What's going on here now?
Here as well. We have a free kick on the edge here, Daz. So there's a just literally on the edge of the right here.
Okay, not so bad. Murphy territory.
No, it's the far left-hand side of the goal here.
Okay, too far out.
Far right on there. So. Yeah, that ball. Wilson should have first timed that over the top there. That's a great ball. Yeah. So the foul's coming up here, I think, as Maxi tries to come back in here. So just a pull of the shirt.
See the way though, Miggy broke and took us about 30 yards up the pitch like that.
Yeah,
that's what you need your wingers.
Yeah. But he's breaking there though, Chris, from the end of our own goal line. Do you know what I mean? He needs to be, that break needs to be from the halfway point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Now we do criticise Steve Bruce a lot on this programme, but if you watch that back, guys, Steve Bruce was actually pointing his arm in the right direction. Does that count as managerial genius?
It's getting there, isn't he?
Yes, he was actually doing this, pointing in that direction, and that's where the ball went.
I think he's pointing to his post-match kebab.
Yeah, goes Hendrik. Oh, yeah, the post-match kebab.
The waffle setup.
Seems to be definitely does seem to be getting eaten, mate.
You don't.
Corner ball.
Yes. So sorry, Steve. Back to Money Mike. Yes, sad to see him go. There was a lot of drama this week on Twitter, but yeah, it was like a soap opera. But yeah, no, I think he'll pop back again when he can. We'll give him his reasons for popping out, and yeah, he got a few digs in at yourself as well.
Well, life wouldn't be on Twitter if it wasn't me getting a few digs. Steve Bruce was asked for comment about Money Mike Ashley's account disappearing, and that was his reaction. Al-Walid,
let's get up.
We should have scored there, mate.
Actually, yeah, I like the pass from Wilson. It was a great pass to Saint-Maximin.
Yeah, it was. We should have scored. What was your view on Money Mike Ashley? Did you get the British sense of humour?
Sometimes I get it, sometimes not. And it's the scene lately, and maybe last 8 months, a lot of negative, positive things. It's like mixy, and I think he's doing a good sense of humor. Of course, and of course I would be sad if he leave, And it's interesting to know, I hope the takeover will happen and we know who is he in person.
Oh
yes.
What the?
There's more chance of the villain being unleashed in revealed in Scooby-Doo than the Mike Ashley guys ever revealing their face. There you go, Trulls. Special request. Trulls always asks for this week in, week out. Pie face. I know exactly what you mean. No problem. So Newcastle United 0, Everton 0, 35 minutes on the clock by me. And it's certainly a tight game, which is probably what we expected. Chris, your take on the Money Mike Ashley account?
Yeah, I mean, like other people have said, I'm not really like other people have said maybe on other shows earlier in our week that they're not fans of so much fans of these anonymous parody accounts, and you know, if somebody has something to say, they'd like to have to see them say it under their own name. I wasn't. I don't know if I was buying too much into like how insiders some of the people are involved with the account. I mean, I guess they had some insights, but it's sort of like you could make a generalization about the direction in which the club is going or the takeover or something like that. And there's as Nick DeMarco has shown, there's you just could tweet anything or photograph anything, and there'd be a certain amount of Newcastle fans that will get riled up and read something into the account. So it's hard to sort of say if they were having a wind up with fans or if they were truly kind of connecting the dots, as people have said, towards things going on behind the scenes. So you know, it's an amusement and sort of anything to kind of keep Newcastle fans laughing in what's been a difficult period on and off the pitch. You know, I'm all for fun, but it's sort of it's a question of how much credibility or seriousness to give to a parody account. Is sort of my bottom line.
Okay, fair enough. Pete, your view on Money Mike Ashley?
I thought the cat was funny, to be honest. It was an entertainment on social media, on Twitter. I enjoyed following it. It's obviously disappointing that it's gone, but from what you've said and from what others have said, there's obviously a clear reason for that. So I think that's just more of an interest in watching than anything else. And I think you mentioned it on Friday. You know, when it comes back, it's likely to come back with a bang. So I think I'm interested to see when it does come back, how and when it comes back, and what with.
Yep. Okay. It'll be interesting to see the resurrection of the Mike Ashley account at some point. Joey, are you a Twitter man? And Money Mike Ashley, did he make you laugh or did he make you cry?
Well, I hadn't seen a great deal of the tweets, to be quite honest with you. I've only recently joined Twitter. I do know what it was, and obviously it was a parody account. And I think, like everything with Twitter, whether it'll remain deleted forever, who knows? You know, there's weirder things have happened on that site, haven't they, to be fair? But yeah, like everything, I know there was a bit of rumour going around that whether the takeover was going to speed up with relation to that account being deleted, but I'm just taking everything with a pinch of salt, to be quite honest with you, you know. But there were some funny tweets to come out of that account personally. But yeah, like I say, whether or not it'll be gone forever, who knows?
Chris Hall, your views on the Money Mike Ashley account?
Do you know what? I really liked it. He was good fun, wasn't he? Hopefully he's back and we haven't seen the last of him. But yeah, do you know what? He provides us a lot of entertainment in what's been quite, you know, depressing at times, really, you know, in terms of constant knockbacks and, you know, waiting, you know, everyone being quiet and the Premier League dragging the heels. So I think he's been really good, and I do hope he is back on, because yeah, he provided enjoyment, and he kept us all you know, on our toes and give us a little bit of hope, didn't he? So yeah, hopefully he's back.
That's a bad one, that.
Okay, Martin, just fill us in with what you've just seen on screen there.
I think Alan and Maximum just went for the ball. Maximum ASM was running kind of side onto him there. I think just maybe clipped the ankle. I don't think there's any intent there, but I'd say probably a bit of a knock. And ASM just kept going, and referee let it play through. So I don't think no harm, no foul as such.
Okay, GDN is saying, how about having some of the lasses next match stream? Hopefully Samantha missed her stuff since deleting Facebook. Yeah, we do invite the girls, mate, but they're always getting ready for Monday, mate. Especially with these matches on a Sunday. But everybody gets an invite. It's who gets in first. There's only 10 spaces allowed on StreamYard, so if the girls fancy it, they're always invited. And There's no issues with that. But yeah, Martin, Money Mike Ashley account, it was a big furore this week, wasn't it, on Twitter?
There was, yeah. I personally, I like the account. I think certainly the first stages of the takeover and from the Irish perspective, when we went into lockdown, it kind of kept me going a bit, because I thought some of the stuff was quite close to the wire, but some of the satirical stuff was kind of like very on point. So I enjoyed it. I think the fact that there's 2 or 3 people running it makes it funnier, because they obviously share the similar kind of humor. And I kind of get that, so I found it funny personally. I think Twitter has its good points, and we've obviously seen this week it has some bad points. But I think he's been one of the highs for me. So yeah, hope to see the account back sooner rather than later.
Nathan, you did a bit of detective work this week, just as Newcastle push again. But Jamal Lascelles not the person you want to ball to fault to with his feet in the box, to be perfectly honest. And the danger at the Everton box is sniffed out. But yeah, Nathan, you had done a little bit of detective work, and you were the one who spotted that the account was actually a different name at one point.
Actually, it was the girls that were doing the detective work. I don't know if they told anyone, but they were telling me that it was, I think it was Katie, Kendall, and Sav. I'm not sure if Samantha was involved as well, but Katie told me that it was actually like Venky's. It was called Venky's Blackburn, the account, the Money Mike Ashley account. So I got that from her. But I think they spent most of Monday looking at pictures from that Money Mark Ashley had posted. So when he posted pictures of like a breadboard and pictures of a TV and that kind of thing, and they've been cross-referencing those pictures with other suspects who they thought it was. So they've been looking at other people's backgrounds in their houses and stuff to see if they could figure out who one of the people were. But I think they came to a few conclusions. But I don't think there's anything.
Me, didn't they? So it was me, Steve Wraith.
Oh, did they? Someone was saying it was me the other week. I can't remember who it was, but yeah. I don't know. I think it's a shame the account's gone, because these parody accounts are a bit hit and miss for me. I don't really follow that many of them, and I don't really find a lot of them that funny. But that one was quite humorous. It was quite like I think it modelled the kind of like pantomime villain Ashley quite well, and like the disdain that he seems to have for us fans and one thing and another. I think it sort of captured that quite nicely. But at the same time, when it was coming up with these kind of like nuggets of information that seemed to be really on point and on the ball, it just made for like really interesting viewing. And I used to quite look forward to the tweets coming through, because usually it was something quite something that you could kind of like draw a conclusion from in it. But I think for me, like, I don't know, I'm of the opinion that the people that may run that account, or the people involved in that account, I think it might have changed over time, because that account's been going for a good few years now, and it's never really mentioned stuff around like goings on behind the scenes and like inside info and that kind of thing. But what I noticed is like sort of over the last few months, and certainly maybe since January time when this takeover talk started hotting up, it seemed to me that it was a lot more kind of like on the ball and talking about like insider information and that kind of thing. So I think it's my little theory that I reckon somebody's acquired that account, somebody who's maybe like on behalf of the buyer's side or on behalf of one side or another, someone's like acquired that to get like a big exposure to the Newcastle fan base. That's my little conspiracy theory. So take that how you want.
Yeah, it's an interesting theory though, Nathan. It is possible that somebody bought into it. I mean, money does talk, and if you've got a Twitter account which can be utilized in that way, and my understanding was because of the name, Venky's Blackburn that the account previously had, one of the guys was certainly from that area or was certainly a Blackburn fan, then it makes sense. It almost becomes a satirical account which uses the same tweets for whatever club you want to attack, and it almost becomes an account for hire.
Yeah, I think so. I think it kind of would make sense. I think the narrative on the account changed certainly in this year because there was never anything like that before. It was just kind of taking the piss out of Newcastle fans, and then all of a sudden it's saying, mark my words, this will happen by this date, and it was, those things were happening. So, if it was an ex-Blackburn fan or if that kind of thing, I'm not sure. might be worth asking some of the people on the Blackburn Twitter hashtag to see if they remember it, because maybe they do. I'm not sure. That might be a line of inquiry for someone to follow up if they're that way inclined. But yeah, it makes sense to me that someone might have paid to get access to a captive audience sort of thing, and to get whatever message out there.
Even starting to sound like a detective, Nathan. Line of inquiry. I like it.
Yeah.
You'll be doing the old Columbo thing next, going, just one more question.
Inside.
Brilliant. Okay, 1 minute of added time to go at St James's Park. Newcastle United 0, Everton 0. I wouldn't say it's been a dull game. It's been fairly, played at a fairly quick tempo. Both teams given as good as they get. Play stopped briefly as Alan Saint-Maximin once again has come a cropper with a challenge. This time one which he created himself, running towards an Everton player, colliding with him and just catching the top of his thigh. Steve Bruce's reaction to that on Sky was to pick his nose and walk past, not bothering to ask whether Saint-Maximin was all right or anything. Adding a bit of flavour to his kebab later. Having a Standing in the dugout now, having a chat, and completely oblivious to what's going on the pitch. But no surprise there. I do spend a lot of my time sitting in my seat at St James's Park when we're allowed to go to the games, watching Steve Bruce, because it is comical. He doesn't really pay a great deal of attention to the game, which means, of course, I'm not paying much attention to the game because he isn't, because I'm watching him. But I've gone off on a tangent there anyway. As the half-time whistle goes, Newcastle United 0, Everton 0. Spenny, give us your take on that opening 45 minutes at St James's Park today.
Been a bit poor, hasn't it? But at least they've had a go a couple of times, haven't they? I was talking to Martin in the chat a bit about the maximum. I think I agree with him what he's saying. He should go on the wing and maybe put Fraser on, partnering Wilson up front, because he's not used to him playing with him. And they're not connecting well, I don't think, either. The two up front.
Yeah, I mean, we seem to be really nullifying our main attacking force, don't we? Yeah. Callum Wilson, who got off to a really good start, it has to be said, at the start of the season, now just seems as if he's, playing like Joe Linton.
Yes, definitely. He's not like connecting with Maxim at all. I think you should put Max back on the wing and put someone else up there with him. Like Carroll was all right up front, wasn't he, for that game? Played all right with him, didn't he, Wilson?
Yeah. And I mean, again, Saint-Maximin, Almiron. I mean, Almiron's run his socks off today for me.
Yeah.
But Almiron, Saint-Maximin both seem to be, they're getting bruised, unfortunately.
Yeah, definitely. They're just running and trying to make chances and not getting chances to the Wilson. Must be so frustrating for him, getting no supply at all. Must be. Especially when now being on about earlier on with Darlow kicking the ball up front and there's 5 defenders all around him to get the ball.
Yeah. Didn't look good. ASM is limping off at half-time, says Russell Johnson. Was hopefully he'll be able to get some kind of treatment at half-time and be okay for the second half. Daz, with your lovely white bow on your head, tell us what you think you made of that first half.
Yeah, first of all, I think St. Max will run that off. It was a knock to the hip, but he should come over that. Just on St. Max, so I don't think the formation is suiting him. He's not linking up well with Wilson there. And as the game went on, he kind of tracked back more to try and pick up the ball to run out at players. So that suits him better. But then like Almiron is running all over the place. Yeah, he's doing his normal thing. He's playing well for us, and Fernandez as well is a rock at the back. But we could win this game. Like Everton didn't do anything really in this half for me to be worried about them. This game is there for the taking. We just have to step it up, or we need to make some kind of change to tweak it to have more, to give us ourselves more of a chance of getting a shot. But where we're weak again is that creative central midfield position. Maybe if St. Max did come back a bit, and we could push on then to try and get a few shots.
Okay, I will lead your take on the first half, mate.
Both teams are careful, very careful. No risk been taken. Everton everyone waiting other team to make a mistake, and some mistakes happen more often in Everton, not Newcastle. I'm worried a bit about the stamina. I believe Mr. Bruce should fresh the lineup before concede a goal if it's happened. I'm kind of remember Manchester United game. It was 1-1 until last 5 minutes, and the team collapsed. I think the style of play I'm worried about the stamina, as I said. That's why they need to freshen the line up before getting the player getting tired, because it's the way of play. It's like all resources Steve Bruce have. He just make it to not concede the goal more than to do a score.
Okay, mate. Thanks for that, Chris. Your take on that first half: Newcastle 0, Everton 0 at St James's Park.
Yeah, Saint-Maximin seemed the only one who was a real threat from our side. So if he's not able to continue, that would be a real damper on our attack. I'd like to see Fraser come in and give Everton a run out, because I think his pace could do some damage to Everton. Everton seems there for the taking, kind of lackadaisical and not providing much of an attack. They seem sort of out of sorts without James, who's kind of been their talisman so far this season, being out. I haven't really seen much of a threat from Calvert-Lewin, who has just been a goal-scoring machine. So with both of those guys sort of out of the picture, it's there. But Newcastle just kind of not pressing the issue, not playing attacking form, and just kind of, again, sitting back and doing back passes to to Darlow. And so they need to change everything around for the second half to take the game.
Okay, David Moyes has chipped in with he'd like to see Brucey bring in Carroll on the 85th minute and aim for Migna's hand. Good stuff, David. See why he did so well at Sunderland. Pete, your take on that first half?
We were the better team. That's not saying much because it hasn't been a great game, if I'm honest. But we were the better team. We created better chances and looked more likely to score. So Maxim's got to take that chance. He has to put that away, because you don't know what type of Everton team is going to come out second half, and we want something to hold on to. The argument about Saint-Maximin playing on the wing, I agree with it. He, for me, when we saw it in restart, when he played his best football on the right hand side, I don't understand why Bruce hasn't switched him and played him on the right. Him and Murphy running that left back would cause some serious problems. But it isn't. He's kind of lost in the middle. You know what? I just feel sorry for Wilson every single game he plays, because the guy presses so hard, so high. He works so hard off the ball, but yet there's like a 20-yard, 30-yard gap between him and the midfield, and it's just pointless running. He's just wasting his energy by chasing and pressing when he's got no support there. But hopefully in the second half, we can get a goal. I think it'll be a tight game anyway, but hopefully we can get the first goal and then hopefully something to hold on to.
Chris, looks like you're annoying George Grant, the Everton fan, saying that Everton are here taking for the taking. Behave yourself, he says. No comment. Okay, Joey, over to you, mate. Your take on that first half.
Yeah, I think, to be quite honest, Everton are showing nothing like the form that they have early in the season, have they, really? We've probably slightly shaded it this first half. We had the better chances. Everton haven't shown much of a threat. Calvert-Lewin hasn't been in the game a great deal. To be quite honest with you, if it carries on like that the second half, then we should just go out and have a proper go, because Everton really haven't looked like creating anything. But one point I will make is about Saint-Maximin. To me, having him play this sort of free role kind of reminds me a bit when Ben Arthur used to play that free role. It seems to me he doesn't really know whether or not he's meant to be playing as like a second striker or as a number 10 or out wide. It seems to me he's lacking clear direction from what Bruce actually wants from him. For me, if it was me, if I'm not saying I'm in charge, but I would have him probably put on the wing and bring somebody else on, maybe Carroll, like what Spinny Mag said. When Carroll played with Wilson earlier in the season, there was a game, I forgot which one it was, but they did actually link up quite well together, because seems to me that Wilson is really isolated at the top, and he hasn't been able to get in the game a great deal. But on the whole, though, we haven't played that bad, to be honest with you. I've seen worse performances this season than what we've played so far in this 45 minutes. That being said, though, both sides have been poor in regards to creativity. So we definitely need to hopefully come out the door and be positive second half, because this game's for the taking, because they just don't look like they're at the races today, Everton. So this is a perfect opportunity for us. But whether Bruce will be able to inspire the troops remains to be seen, doesn't it? So, you know, well, because we're a work in progress. That's one thing I must say, mine. I've looked through some of his old press conferences. Every club he's been at has been a work in progress. If you go back and look at some of them, it's actually remarkable. He has the same sound bites for every single club he's been at.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah, he's nothing but original, that's for certain. Your fan says, I fell asleep. I woke up and in the haze thought this footy's great. Then realised I switched to the BBC and was watching Everton ladies against Man City ladies. Great stuff. Over to you, Chris Hall. Your take on that first half?
Yeah, a few points to make. I think we need to change the formation. I think we need Maxi and Almiron further up. I think when they are picking the ball up, it's too deep, as Martin said earlier. It's far too deep, and it's again leaving them too much work to do. In response to what George has said, I'm surprised he said that, to be honest, because in my opinion, Everton are here for the taking. Everton are a good side, and you know they've had a fantastic start to the season, and they've got really good players, but they're missing some key players today. And based on what I've just seen, Everton haven't turned up. Nor have we, but Everton haven't turned up, and whoever goes out the more positive here in this second half has got a chance to win the game. And I think we have got a good chance to go and you know take all 3 points against Everton today. Will we do it? Will Bruce act on what he's seen in the first half? I'm not sure. I'd like to see Fraser come on. From a positive point of view, we've restricted Everton to, I believe, 1/2 chance. I think they had, I think it was a shot from distance from Delph, which went into Rosette, and a ball trickled through, which I think Decore started. I think it might have been Andre Gomez or something who put it through. But yeah, there's a potential for either team to win the game, but. Let's hope that Bruce is positive, and let's hope that he brings Fraser on, maybe changes things up a little bit, and let's hope we can improve on that one shot on target that we've had.
Okay, Martin, your take on the first half?
Yeah, it's been slow. I think I said Chris made the point there. I think we're too deep. I'd make a couple of changes, and I'd make them early on. I'd bring Fraser on. And I'd probably take Hendrick off at the moment. And you could kind of debate, do you maybe leave the three at the back and push further up a bit, maybe take Lewis off, bring Hayden on just to sit in front of the back that he can drop back to make a 4 if we need, or he can sit just in front, and then push Murphy, ASM, Almiron as a 3 kind of that are able to move back and forth, with Fraser just in front of them, and we're playing off the back of Wilson. So I think Everton are there for the taking. They've been poor this half. Will they play that poor in the second half? Probably not. So I think we need to change it up to match them. I've not seen any threat from them. Calvert-Lewin I was a bit worried about. They're not getting down the sides to get the crosses in, barring 1 or 2. So why not go for it? 45 minutes, give it 10 minutes, make a couple of changes, and go out attacking. Attack.
Okay, Nathan, your take on the first half, please.
Yeah, I think it's been a really sloppy game. Both teams have. The comment that was on the screen there about from the Everton fan, I think it does look like both teams are kind of scared to lose. Really, I feel like, as I mentioned earlier, and with their wingers pushing forward, our only width is our fullbacks at the minute, and they're not being able to push forward, and so we're not getting any natural width further up the pitch. The difference between the two teams is that Everton, their kind of match winner, the guy that makes things happen for them, James, he's not available today. He's not on the pitch. Our match winner is on the pitch, but he's playing in the wrong position for me. At the start of the season, we talked about, when we made a couple of signings, we talked about Wilson and then Fraser and Saint-Maximin either side, or Saint-Maximin Elmer on either side, and we talked about that being, probably a really good front three compared to a lot of teams in the league. But we're not making use of that, are we? We're playing Saint-Maximin in this role where he's up front 1 minute, he's dropping really deep the next minute, and he's not out wide. We're not getting any natural width down at left hand side. Almiron's not doing it for me down at left hand side like Saint-Maximin does, and that's where we get all our joy in most games in the season. So really sloppy game. I think we've been okay defensively. They haven't offered much of an attacking threat, but then again, neither have we. So I want to see us create a bit more. I want to see us try and get a bit more creativity in that final third, but I don't think, I can't see it. I really can't see it. I'm getting really fed up of this, of the football so far this season. Now we sit here every weekend and we watch these games, and it's the same old, isn't it? Every week, and we're always saying this. We're always saying that we need more creativity, more of a spark going forward, and we're just not getting it. And it's difficult to see where it's going to come from because we don't really have those options on the bench. We've got Fraser, who's been somewhat hit and miss so far this season. He's been better in a Scotland shirt than he has been in a Newcastle shirt, that's for sure. So, let's see where we go from here.
Second half about to kick off. Teams are on the pitch. Saint-Maximin has come back out. Got to do this. We're not usually self-promoting, but it is a big thank you to everybody. We hit 33,000 subscribers today, and that is a massive, massive number. We are the biggest NUFC talking on YouTube. We do 7 shows a week. Sometimes do 8 or 9, depending if we can add a couple. But just want a big thank you to everyone who supports us. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button today. But it's a huge thank you to you. You keep us going, and everyone who interacts on the chat, big thank you to you as well, because there's a lot of opinions out there. You all put them across very well, and we all enjoy doing these shows. So thanks very much, and I'm sure the lads and lasses would like to say thanks as well. Big thank you.
Well done to you, Steve, as well.
Yeah. Well,
Where the matters.
How are the matters? Second half kicks off then. Predictions for the second half. 2 quick ones. Spenny will go around the board. Prediction of the final score now. Have you changed your mind? And what time will Joe Linton come on?
One's a piece. Joe Linton will come on at the 69th minute.
69. Okay, well, I'll write these down. Somebody write them down.
Any single he's about. Nathan's single. He's after a date.
All right, okay, Nathan, we'll come to you. We'll come to you on that in a minute. Daz, quick prediction, what time will Joe Linton come on?
I think it's going to be 1-0 Newcastle. Joe Linton will come on at the 68th minute, and I have another one. I want to ask Chris Hall, what is the forfeit if Everton or Newcastle lose in your house?
Okay, well, we'll come to Chris on that as well when we come to you. Al-Walid, prediction, please, for the final score, and what time will Joe Linton come on?
Spenny.
Are we Spenny?
You're muted.
First time. I think Carlo Ancelotti, he did some change. I believe he will do some change. But for us, no, I think the same style. I see in the comment earlier, someone said I'm enjoying the chess game. Actually, it's right. It's a chess game.
Checkers.
Okay.
No, I think I don't think Joelton will be in. I think Carroll will be in.
Okay. What minute did he say? Sorry. Last 10 minutes. 80 minutes. Okay. So Joe Linton. What time will Joe Linton come on?
Carroll will go inside.
Oh,
I don't
right,
think
okay. Well, that's controversial. Hold on, not going on. Don't worry, I'm putting this down, lads. I'm putting this down. Chris, prediction for the scoreline, second half, has it changed? And what time will Joe Linton come on?
Yeah, I called 2-2. I feel like maybe the next goal will be the winning goal, but I'll still say draw, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was 1-1. I don't see four goals in the second half here. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, basically. And then as far as Joe Linton, I'm going to say 75th minute.
75th minute, okay. 75th minute for Chris. Pete, your take on that, please. Have you changed your prediction? And what time will Joe Linton come on?
My prediction is 2-0 to Newcastle. I think there's a couple of goals in there for us, and hopefully that comes through. So I'm going to stick with that. Joe Linton, I think, will be on the 70th minute.
70 minutes, okay. Joey, same question to you.
Yeah, well, I'd like to hope 1-0, I think, to us. You know, I'm calling it right now. Joe Linton will come on in the 90th minute and score his first touch. And we'll all like rejoice.
90th minute, all right, okay.
I'm ever the optimist.
Debut. What a debut.
It is like Chris Hall, answer the question that you were asked first of all, mate, and then go for the reply to the other question.
Yeah, so I think if we lose today, I'm gonna have to go out. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I can't go to the pub. I don't know. I don't know. I'll just have to go out, won't I? I'll just have to get away from everyone. But yeah, if we win, which I hope we do, yeah, I'm just gonna go downstairs with the biggest grin on my face ever, and I'm just gonna go on about it for weeks, probably. My mother-in-law is she's been giving me stick all week. So yeah, I'll probably. Do you know what? I might even walk round to hers and shout at her from a distance and just give her some stick. So yeah, I'd look forward to doing that. But yeah, I'm going to stick with my prediction of 2-0. I really do. You know, we've come out here second half looking much better. So yeah, I'm hoping 2-0. I would like to see Cavill come on. I think this is a game for Cavill. I'm not a big fan of Yerry Mina or Michael Keane. So I think it would be nice for him to come on. So I see where our lead's coming from there. But I do think Joe will come on. And I think Joe's going to come on in the 75th minute. 75th
minute. Okay, so that's you and Chris have both gone for the same one. I'm not gonna say you can't, but it's interesting that the two Chris's have both gone for 75. Martin, prediction and time that Joe Linton will come on.
God. Well, my 3-1's not looking good, so I'll go. You know what? I'll stay 0-0. There you go. I'll change it up from 3-1 to 0-0. As for Joe Linton, Christ, if he comes on now and he does score, I'm going to look daft. What time is he going to come on? I'll say 76 minutes is normally Brucey's number, so I'll go 76 to 77 minutes.
Martin, 76, okay. Nathan?
Yeah, I reckon 66 minutes, I reckon he'll come on.
Okay.
I think he'll change it a bit earlier this time.
Right.
And I think I said 1-1 for the score. Struggling to see any goals in this, to be honest. So I'm going to downgrade that to a 0-0, I think. Yeah.
0-0. Okay. Well, I'm going for 1-1. It's 52 minutes on the clock. Newcastle 0, Everton 0. Still, nobody has managed to break the deadlock. And just if you've tuned in there, what we're actually trying to predict is when Joe Linton will come on. I'll go for 67 minutes. So I'm placing myself in the mix there alongside a few of the lads. So we'll see what happens and whether Big Joe does happen to come on. But yeah, interesting stats all around for this game, and it is tight as we'd expect, with the injuries that Everton, well, injuries and suspensions that Everton have got. Spenny Hendrick played, a couple. Well, this is a game and a half now. He's got to play in his preferred position. What have you made of him today?
He's just been like in the middle of the park. Really, it's been busier, isn't it? If you look at the areas of attacking, I think it's 52% in the middle of the park. So he's had many tackling to do and no attacking really to do, hasn't he? He's more of a defensive midfield he's playing like now than a midfield in the row, isn't it? For me. You can't say much of them people when they're playing football. They just do the hard work, really, don't they? Like Martin was saying earlier on.
Yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. Okay, Daz, Hendrik, what's he done for you today?
Yeah, he's been solid enough, but the biggest problem I find with Hendrik is he's not Isaac Hayden. So like I'm a big Isaac Hayden fan. Sorry, Super Mac, but yeah, he's done okay. We'll see how he goes for the rest of the game, really, as Wilson goes down. Just a little knock.
Penalty.
No, that's it.
Penalty.
Penalty.
Now, is it?
Does he give it?
Yeah, giving it.
Does he give it?
No, is it?
Yeah, give it.
I think he has.
Yeah.
You know what? Good.
Come on.
Wilson.
Yes.
Come on.
Very soft.
That's the penalty.
Not penalty like.
No way.
Oh my
That's
God, that's
right.
not a penalty.
That's bad.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you what, it is a swing. It is a swing. He does connect.
That's up there with the Spurs game, that.
You know what though? I
I've
think
never
I
seen
don't think
that.
Gomez
From,
has helped himself there.
From the aerial angle, I've got to be honest, it looked like a penalty.
Yeah, I think that's a penalty.
This season, it's a pen in it. I think it's one of them.
This season it's a pen. Yeah. I
But
think
the funny thing
Gomez
was,
Bruce's luck rides again.
in the
doing
first
his
half, though,
top help.
Wilson had an attack in the first half, and Mina was all over him, which I thought was a clearer penalty than that was. Oddly,
Come on.
So Callum Wilson steps up to take the penalty. This is an opportunity for Osman to make a hero of himself.
Come on, Callum. Come on, lads. Come on, Callum.
keep it
Wilson takes a deep breath, looks down, takes a few steps back.
Come on, Callum.
Taking his time.
Big delay.
This is
Like
taking
bars.
forever. This is taking forever.
Doesn't help a penalty taker.
What's he waiting for?
What are we waiting for?
VAR checking, is he?
What's going on here?
Let's
Oh,
talking
they
to
haven't-
somebody.
Why put
This
the
is not
ball
gonna
on
help.
the footballing?
He's
Gonna
gonna
get
He
away.
was probably, I'd say he was maybe checking with the top six there, was he?
Checking the limbo. Checking the limbo, see if it was all right or not.
Yeah.
Penalty goes.
Come on.
Penalty goes ahead.
That's how we
Come on. Come on.
Yes, Callum.
Come on.
I wanted that for everyone, but especially for Chris Hall, because I know it's joy in his house, in his seat.
Oh,
right
mate, I'm buzzing.
Come on.
I'm going to go down in a
Get
minute.
in. Come on. How are the lads?
Come on.
What's the reaction in your house? Everyone else?
Silence. Just silence.
Just wait.
I can't wait to go down.
Don't shout.
I'm just waiting for a rolling pin to come bashing down on Chris next.
Get the topies out.
Great to see Jordan Pickford upset there. Jordan Pickford swearing into his hands as Callum Wilson scores the penalty.
Get in, lad.
I can't remember what it feels like to get more than one penalty in a season. What's going on?
Well done, Jordan.
Chris Hall has been attacked.
That's purely because VAR is fucked, Nathan. That's all that is.
We used to get one a year, don't we? We get one a year. Last 5 years.
Bruce's luck rides again, mate.
Now.
Chris Hall, will you have to
Something
make
to
your
hold
own
on
tea
to.
tonight?
Come on.
Possibly, yeah. It might be laced with something.
Now finally found out what
Nicky,
Steve
look.
Bruce. Finally found out what Steve Bruce does on the sidelines. He's actually watching us, lads. There he is. He's commenting on the chat. Get in, he says. Barry Hogan says, "Can we all not get rattles? You'll have to go and buy some rattles, lads."
Yeah. Go on, lads. Go on.
Pickford's reaction was quality.
Oh,
If
it
you
was amazing.
if you watch one thing,
go on.
you watch one thing
Go on.
tonight, it's his reaction.
Goalkeeper.
Oh.
Newcastle
That is.
Newcastle come so close again. Wilson did the work. Longstaff broke through. The keeper managed to get it over the top of the bar just with his outstretched leg. Longstaff with the opportunity.
That's what we want, though.
Started
This
off quite
reaction,
well,
what we wanted,
actually,
to not sit back on it.
In fact, it was his hand. It looked like his leg, but it was actually a hand. What a
He wants
great
the
save
rim.
that was.
Yeah.
That was Pickford. That was in.
I think
Yeah.
I think Wilson better in playmaker, better than striker.
Corner to Newcastle at the Gallagher end. Newcastle 1, Everton 0. Coming up to the hour mark.
Do you know what someone just said then, Steve? We've got to push on now. Let's not go into our shells and be like, right, let's defend this 1-0 lead. Let's kick on and let's try and push on and get a second. That's what we need to do. Can't sit back.
Yeah.
That chance there, right, after going ahead, is exactly what we needed, though. Like, we needed to be doing that right from the off, and it's pleasing to see. But
Good point, Nathan.
Someone saying you're funny, Steve.
Oof.
Yeah, must be a mistake.
You look like you're getting compliments.
It's not. Sigurdsson hits the ball well over the bar. Hit the ball well over the bar there. As Everton try to find a way back into the game.
I've got a
Here
great
for the
Steve
take.
Bruce story for you.
Yeah, go on, mate. Go on.
So it was funny yesterday, right? So 10 years ago yesterday, obviously it was the anniversary of the 5-1 drubbing that we gave the Mackhams. When Kevin Nolan scored the hat-trick. Well, I remember I was in my last year at school then, right? And my best mate at the time, because where I live at in Durham, it's like 50-50. 50 Mackhams, 50 obviously us lot. And I always remember he was taking the mick because obviously we just come back up. And he's saying, "Oh, you're rubbish. We've got the best side that we've had for years and years. Some of them we're going to absolutely cane you." I said, "Right, I'll tell you what then. I said, if you're that confident, then I'll put a Sunderland shirt on and you can put it on Facebook. Or but vice versa, if we win, then I'll come round with my Newcastle shirt on and I'll take a photo of you and then you can have to stick it on your Facebook." He went, "Need bother. We're going to cane you. Well, obviously, the 5-1 happened, and his dad wouldn't let me in the house at first. But anyway, I managed to get photo evidence of it. And yesterday, he lives in London now, lovely lad. But I just sent him. I said, "Can you remember this lovely snapshot?" Yeah, and I'm not going to say what his reply was, but needless to say, it wasn't his favourite memory. But I always remember him bigging up Steve Bruce that day. And I know he's our manager now, but dear me, I think that was the last time we actually played well against the Mackhams, to be fair.
Yeah, good memories.
Funny memories.
Good memories. We seem to have a lot of Liverpool fans on the chat today who good in the Everton fans on. Yes, so quite clear to see there's no Everton watch along today. But it's
Wilson's been big, eh?
Yeah, there was an exchange of words, wasn't there, Daz?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, Jerry Mina. He was having a little word in Wilson's ear before the penalty, trying to put him off, and Wilson just was checking the pressure on the ball, so he just put it up to him, and he got a yellow card for that.
It actually was clearing his nose. Do you see it? Yeah, I mean, he walked up and he was like fucking snotting on the ground, the scruffy bastard.
Yeah, I thought that's what he was getting booked. I thought he was getting booked for that, but he booked Wilson. It's a strange booking that if ever I've seen one.
Was that the delay on the penalty? Was he checking to see whether something more untoward had gone on? Do you think?
Probably, yeah, probably, Chris.
He booked him straight away before that delay, though, didn't he? I don't know.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I bet there was a check to see if it was a red card, see if it was a punch rather than he pushed the ball into his stomach, didn't he? That's what he got booked for. So I bet they were checking to see if it was anything more than that.
He's lucky though, Wilson doing that and then like only getting a yellow. Like you never know, do you doing something like that? I would interpret it now on VAR.
You live near the ground, like Chris. You live near Goodison Park, Chris.
About 10 minutes away in the car.
All right, because I usually stop at near Low Street. I've got friends live in Low Street. Just
right, yeah.
Where the Goodison Park is. I stop there every time when Newcastle plays.
Oh, right. Spen, you'll have to let me know next time you're down these ways.
Yeah, the lovers down there. Like when we go down there, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Good night out and all.
Yeah, it is.
Not as good as Spenny Moore. I've had many of a night down there.
No, top that's closed now though. Out there.
Aye, I know. Aye.
63 minutes gone. Newcastle United 1, Everton 0. Callum Wilson with a penalty. It was a penalty as well when we got a chance to rewatch it. And it's still a very, very tight game, Spenny.
It is, yeah. It's 50-50. Like, let's get some tackles are coming in as well. The naughty ones. The dangerous this day is Everton team, like, aren't they? You think you'll want to get a goal, like, wouldn't you? Every time I go for attack, fortunately.
Calvert-Lewin at the back here.
Daz, not much change. Not much change in this first 15 minutes of the second half. Is there really to the first half? Except Newcastle are 1 up.
Yeah. Everyone can see that Everton are going to pile on the pressure now on us. And we're probably coming up to our guesses for Joe Linton as well. I mightn't bring him on now. I think I'd stay where we are. But expect. I think we need to keep attacking, keep the pressure on Everton because here they come again. Okay. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, Steve.
Oh, wow. That was it. Yeah, I was just watching it there. It was a free kick in, flicked on header, but safely gathered by Darlow, went straight into his arms, and Newcastle United still stay 1 up. Al-Walid, it's not much change, is it? It's pretty much the same as the first half, but Newcastle managed to get that penalty and are a goal up.
Yeah, actually, I noticed three dangerous. The only three dangerous opportunities was behind Wilson. He was doing the assist beside the penalty. I think it was a penalty, but the player who caused it, he wasn't mean to tackle Wilson. I think this is the time we should fresh up the line. The players we need a change for the stamina matters. I think Fraser would be a good choice.
Okay, Chris, 1-0 up. It's good to be in the lead. Our prediction of a 1-1 draw is looking likely though, because Newcastle don't seem to be pressing on at the moment.
Yeah, it's never so precarious as having a 1-0 lead with Newcastle. I can't believe how many times it happened. Sort of 15-16 in the championship year, and other years. So you have to hope that Steve Bruce can make if he makes substitutions, he makes the right calls. But we haven't seen him. We don't have much confidence in Steve Bruce or Agnew or anyone making the right substitutions. So hopefully, despite the substitutions and anything that Bruce or Agnew does to the club, we hang on. But as we've known so many times, hope only gets you so far. So we'll see.
Newcastle on the attack again. Lewis on the far side, attacking the Gallagher end, pulls the ball back out, comes to Saint-Maximin. Little bit of interplay between him and Hendricks. Saint-Maximin just looking for that opportunity, goes down, but the referee deems it a fair challenge and Everton get the ball back. Coming up to 67 minutes very shortly, which was my shout for Joe Linton coming on. Unfortunately, Nathan's is 66. Looks as if me and him could both be out of the running on the Joe Linton competition. Pete, what do you make of this so far?
It's exactly what we wanted it to be. So we wanted to get that first goal, which we have. Could have been 2, should have been 2. But the one thing we can't do now is what we've done for the last sort of 5 minutes is go back into our shell and try and just be defensive. We need to keep attacking them, pushing them backwards. You can see Decore, Bernard come on, and you can see them, bombing forward and trying to create something. So we need to keep pushing them back. Ultimately slow the game down, which the lads are doing when there's a break in play. Just kind of trying to completely slow the game and the pace down. What we cannot do is concede set pieces, corners, free kicks, because they've got big, tall guys in there. Calvert-Lewin, we know how dangerous he is. That's where they're going to try and get back into this game. Really, the only likely way they're going to get back into this game is from a set piece. So we've just got to be smart about our play now, going into the last 20 odd minutes or so.
Okay, Newcastle United still 1 up against Everton, 67.5 minutes on the clock. Joey, pretty much the same old, but Newcastle still holding on there.
Yeah, it's been a work-like performance, hasn't it, really, without being too flattering the eye. I'm to be honest with you, I'm going to focus a little bit more on Everton. I feel like they've been really, really poor today. I know they're missing key players, but defensively, we've looked quite sturdy today. We haven't looked like conceding at all, and they've had very, very limited chances. I know Calvert-Lewin had that header a couple of minutes ago. But yeah, I mean, if it carries on like this, then hopefully it'll be well-earned 3 points. Just mirroring what everyone else is saying, like I mentioned earlier on in the show, I just don't want us to sit back too deep the last 20 minutes and then invite pressure on, because that's what we've been known to be like over this season. But yeah, to be honest with you, it's been a really, really poor performance from Everton. I was expecting them to be piling on the pressure a lot more today than they have on us. So yeah, I'm not too pleased, but just please, hopefully we don't stay too deep. It might be time for a change.
Yeah, I would hope so. I've missed out. Nathan's missed out. We're into Daz territory now with only 10 seconds left. It looks like Daz has got the Joe Linton substitution wrong as well. Unlucky, mate. Chris Hall, your take on this second half, 70 minutes almost played, and Newcastle still 1-0 up. Another booking goes out. This time it's an Everton player. Not sure what that was for, but yeah, what's your take so far?
I'm just buzzing, Steve. I'm just so happy. I can't. I'm just hoping these 20 minutes go nice and quick. I know.
Will you get any tea? Will you get any tea? That's the big question.
Do you know what? That's just why I was eating some toast then, just in case. I might have to go and fend for myself. Yeah. So, do you know what? We're doing okay. We're still going forward. Bruce hasn't told everyone to defend, so that's a real positive. I was just saying then, I think Everton's shape's changed a little bit. I know they've just taken Kuko off and brought Tosin on, so that's another big lad up top. I think he's particularly good in the air, Tosin, so that's a danger. But I don't know if anyone saw it then, that flick from Miggy, fantastic.
Yeah.
And really
brilliant.
Oh yeah, and it got Yerry Mina a yellow card as well. So no, I think it's good. I think it's time for the change. Maybe it's time for Hayden in the middle. Fresh legs to try and stem the flow. But yeah, I mean, as I've said before, I'd like to see Cavill come on. Do you know what, Steve? I'm dying to know as well. This won't be Joe Linton's 10th game if he doesn't come on, does it? So it'll roll into next week.
Oh God! Don't say that. No, he's definitely going to come on, mate. He's definitely going to come on. Where are we? 70 minutes in, so we've lost another. No, we're up to Pete now. Pete went for 70 minutes. Still no sign of Joe Linton, but Steve Bruce is on the sideline and he's pointing, so that means that something's going to happen. Martin.
Yeah, I think we've been all right second half. I think definitely a penalty. So. I don't think there was too much argument around that. I think we've looked the better team the second half. Everton changed it up. I think they've gone to a 4-4-2 more so now with Tosin coming on. But I agree with Joey. I think they've been really poor today. They look a completely different side without the likes of Digne in it, and without Rodriguez pulling the play. I think they've looked quite ordinary. Hopefully, I don't jinx it. But yeah, I think we've played okay. I'd still like to see Fraser come on. I think it's an ideal game for him, more so than Joe Linton. I think a little lad with a bit of pace in and around their defence. You've got two of their defenders now on yellow cards. I think there's opportunities there still. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, okay so far.
Oh my God.
Okay, Nathan.
Go on, Long.
Yeah, I think we. It'd be interesting to see how we manage this game out now, because this is usually the time of the game where we're trailing 1-0, isn't it? And we need to get back into it, and we don't seem to do a lot. But we're kind of doing the opposite to what we normally do. We're pushing forward. Fraser's getting warmed up now, and he's coming on.
Bruce, you heard me.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that's for. I'm really pleased with Murphy today. I think he's done really well down that right hand side. I think he's you know, he's shown a lot of effort where perhaps, you know, throughout the game where we've been kind of patchy as a team. I think he's been consistently good throughout the game. He's getting himself into good positions. Saint-Maximin's on that left-hand side now, and what I know I've been saying it all game. I feel like a broken record, but what a difference it makes having him on that left. Inside and
well done, Nate. That jinxed it, mate.
Yeah, and he's coming off now because I said that. So yeah, I think when Saint-Maximin comes off, that's kind of like the nail in the coffin for us in terms of our attacking play, because it seems to all go through him, and we've said that a number of times this season that's Bruce's plan, isn't it? Get the ball to Saint-Maximin and see what he can do. So with him coming off, I'm not sure what that spells for us now. But he hasn't brought a defender on, and hopefully we don't sit back. But it looks like Fraser's kind of in this middle area now. So yeah, we'll see.
I'm not disagreeing with that substitution. Alan Saint-Maximin definitely seems to be carrying something. He doesn't seem to be walking as well as he would normally walk. And yeah, you know, it's one of those. It's down to personal opinion. But Saint-Maximin he looks a bit drained. He doesn't look as active.
Great ball from Murphy again.
Yeah, Murphy's had a blinder so far. Coming into the 74th minute now, and Newcastle United are still winning 1-0 at home to Everton. Callum Wilson with the penalty. We'll be here until the final whistle, and then we'll give our reviews on the game and give our man of the match. Just want to give another shout out to our new sponsor for this month, who is sponsoring the StreamYard app for us, and that is newworkwear.com, specialists in the supply and branding of clothing for the workplace. Big shout out to that. Daz, that's brilliant. I'm going to do it again. Newworkwear.com. Go on, Daz. Hey, Daz, you've got the job, mate. You're hired.
Hey, free kit for me.
I think what we should do is we should have the YMCA music on next time.
Oh, thanks.
When you're doing that, and you're not like Donald Trump, just with having a hard hat on. Typical builder. Typical builder having a tea break.
Young man.
75th minute. This is the Chris's time for the substitution.
Yeah, I've just had a text off Stu Penman that says, "Do I deliberately put Chris under the logo?" No, I don't. It's just because he keeps dropping in and out, and then other people come, and he ends up getting moved around like a Tetris square, and he ends up in that corner. He always tries to avoid it, but he always ends up there. Just while there's a dull spell in play, I will remind you that if you go onto my Twitter account, Everton just pushing forward, as I said that, of course, commentator's curse will just break until Everton get through there, try to put the ball in. Good defending by Newcastle, still haven't cleared the lines.
More than one done, Joe.
Well done, yeah. Newcastle finally get the ball back. Still 1-0 to Newcastle. Yeah, we've got a T-shirt, Three Amigos T-shirt. We're doing this for the food bank. I think it's up to around about 75 quid now. The first one made £150, which of course George Mitchell bought. All proceeds go to the food bank. All you need to do is go onto my Twitter, at Steve Wraith on Twitter, place a bid, and the money goes direct to the food bank. And we will call out the winner on Ladies' Night, which is tomorrow night, and that is 7:30 tomorrow night on this channel. So, and you know, if it's the first time you've watched and the first time you've been on the NUFC Matters channel, please just click subscribe and hit the little thumb. Hit the little thumb just to like the video. It does do us a big favour. And if you do want to contribute a little bit, like Chris Hall did today, thank you, Chris. Chip in by clicking the join button, and you can become a member. And when we put up stuff on the members only part of the page, you will be able to see that. But it just helps contribute towards the channel a little bit, which is a big help. So 76 minutes on the clock. Where are we on the Joe Linton coming on? Well, that's
90th minute, man.
Both Chris's are out. Martin's
out.
Martin's out now. He was on 76. So we've only got Joey on 90 minutes, or Al-Walid saying that he won't come on. Good shout, lads. So just waiting to see what happens there. Barry says we need the YMCA music for Daz. 15 minutes of torture, says Dr. Rockter.
Yeah.
Last 2 games just prove how poor this Everton team is. Garbage against Southampton and awful today. Too many average players. Russell reckons we've been quite solid in defence. Trulls just says hit the like button and prove we stand united. Thanks very much. Barry's asking Spenny, which member of the village people would you be, Spenny?
I was the biker, wouldn't I? With a big moustache.
You'd be the biker.
I'm the biker. I've been watching Police Academy, haven't I? Blue Oyster Bar.
Chris Hall should
On Netflix.
Chris Hall should print out that Everton poor last 2 weeks comment and hand it out to his family.
One Fraser.
Thanks for the T-shirt. It's got your name on the back a lot.
Brilliant. Well done. He's got his NUFC Matters T-shirt on. Brilliant stuff, mate. Good stuff. So Newcastle 1, Everton 0, 78 minutes played. Can Newcastle hang on? Let's hope they can. If you want one of those T-shirts, jump on to NewcastleLegends.com. There you go. Yes, go on, Pete.
I was going to say, Everton just obviously Alex Iwobi's come on now and took off the right back. So Everton defensively are all over the place at the moment. Like the structure of their team is shocking. So although we don't want to be falling into our shells and just defending,
wow,
there should be gaps there. There should be gaps there that we can exploit on the counter at the very least. So there's an opportunity to nick another goal for sure, but we cannot sit and concede free kicks and corners in our own area because they will get them eventually.
Fair enough, Pete. Barry Hogan suggests we'll have a whip round just in case Chris's last goes on strike and doesn't make his tea. Send a food parcel down to you, Chris.
I think I'll need one.
I've just got the impression that your lass is standing off camera, just looking at you, giving you the daggers, and you're like, just because of the way your TV's placed.
I know. No, do you know what? No, I'll be getting them when I go downstairs. But no, she hasn't come up yet. So it's probably because of the scoreline. As I say, when I go down, I'll get it.
Troll says, let's just send Chris a tent in case. Yeah, I love it when something takes over the chat that's got nothing to do with the match. It tells you how interested we all are. Spenny, Jamal Lascelles, he was supposed to be missing today, but he's done all right, hasn't he? Probably one of his better games so far.
Yes, definitely. I've just seen Scar having a bit of a disagreement with one of the forwards and everything like. But yes, I think all the defenders have played really well, which is an improvement from the last few games, hasn't it? Because the defence was dodgy. I think he finally sorted it out in that formation, to tell you the truth.
Well, look, he takes each game as it comes. Today is not a bad day. If we get a 1-1 draw, I would have been happy. If we can win 1-0, I'll be even happier, of course. Pat Mealy asking about Hendrick. We did talk about Hendrick earlier, and I think most of us agreed he's done a lot of work today. Done okay. Daz, your take on the back four and Jamal Lascelles?
The back five.
Back five, sorry.
It would. No, for me, it goes back to the Rafa days. They're more comfortable in a back five. They've become used to it in those times. So it's nice to see them keep the clean sheet. Fernandes has played well in the first half. Nice to see Schär back to playing ball again. He did not have a good season last season as Everton make a break. But yeah, they're doing okay so far, but pressure's on.
Pressure's on, Al Walid, and Jamal Lascelles, he's played more like a captain today.
Yeah, actually, I like about him. He's like surveillance tower. He always observe. Eyes not just on the balls, on the player. I like his style.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah, Jamal Lascelles has done well today. I definitely haven't been one of his biggest backers. Always thought that we had better center back options, but maybe he's just kind of stepped up when we needed him. He's one of the more vocal players in the team, I would say. And we've talked about other captains in the past, but some of those guys like Hayden and stuff, I don't think are vocal enough to really be the captain. The captain is not just about being the leader, but it really is kind of marshaling the troops. And I think if he does one thing, he does that.
So.
Okay, Pete, your views as Miguel Miron comes off, doesn't look happy, shaking his head, and Hayden's coming on.
I was going to say, I was going to ask a question. If Hayden's in squad, why is he not coming on at this point? He's the type of guy that we need in the team. So yeah, I was really pleased to see him come on. I think Almiron's done really, really well. Worked hard, supported down that left hand side. I think he's had a good game today without really creating or being an effect in the attacking areas. But yeah, I think overall, I think we've been the better team. I think we've created better chances. I think we've been more dangerous, considering all the media talk about how free flowing Everton have been. I think we've been the better team. So it's a shame so late on to concede a goal or to concede 3 points. Go on, Fraser's in. Go on.
Oh, guys, get in there!
Get in!
Well done, Fraser.
Come on.
Fraser Wilson. Telling you, lads, I've been called it for
He
weeks.
loves that stick his foot up in the air and
Come on.
So yeah, just really good.
What a run.
Great there.
I think Fraser's done really well.
First goal, first deal.
I don't know. It looked like it was going to
Ball
go
from
in.
Lewis as well.
Was it going in already?
Great stuff.
Strikers didn't think that is.
This is the best I've seen Fraser in a Newcastle shirt. I think, to be fair, since he's come on, he's looked really quite sharp.
It's getting down in chambers, isn't it? That was out of nothing completely. That's what he can do. But
that difference is though, Fraser knows where Wilson's going to be. He knows where Wilson wants a ball.
Definitely.
That was a deflection. I don't think it was.
Got to give the credit as well to Jamal Lewis, who picked out a wonderful pass to Fraser. Fraser cut inside, tried to cross the ball, and it deflected off the Everton defender. And Wilson was where a striker should be, ghosting in at the back post to toe poke it in, and Sky just replaying it, and then showing Wilson once again finding the camera and saluting the camera. And the only disappointment about that goal is we all weren't there to see it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, great ball by Lewis.
Now Wilson scored his second goal. He's now equal to Shelby's total last season, which was 6 goals already.
Yeah.
And it's only in November. So again, it just justifies everything that we've been saying in the build-up to the season, that we need a striker that knows where the goals are, knows where the net is. Already 6 goals, looking at double figures at least now. So fantastic to see. He deserves it.
He's closing out Calvert-Lewin.
Not sure who called it at the start of the game, but there was somebody in the chat certainly said they fancied an upset today. I do know that obviously a couple of you guys as well were predicting a 3-1 win. Well, may not be 3-1, but it's certainly a 2-goal deficit, Chris and Martin.
Yeah, well, I called a 3-1, but I did say I thought Wilson would get a brace, so I'll take that.
Yeah.
I think the thing with Wilson is he's a proven goal scorer. If you give him service, the man is going to score goals without a doubt. He's top quality. Again, I've been shouting for the last 2 weeks to get Fraser on either to the left or just in behind Wilson.
Oh, Everton nearly scored.
He's not getting a hat trick anyway. And it shows you there the ball from Lewis into Fraser. Once Fraser broke into the box there with pace, there's nothing Mina can do if he brings him down. It's another penalty and a sending off because he's already on a yellow. So Fraser knows he can run him in the box. So yeah, I'd like to see Fraser getting starts. I know we tend to play ASM on that side, but I think Fraser for me has to start the next game. I think coming off the bench, unless he's still not 100% fit, but he was playing games for Scotland, so yeah, no, happy with that. I think Fraser's done. They've all done well defensively. I think we've been okay. I haven't been the biggest admirer of Lascelles over the last few weeks. He's done okay today, but I think for me, Fernandez has been stronger at the back. Yeah. And there he is, just winning another header. But overall, shape-wise, defense-wise, this is red anyway, is it?
Is he off?
He is, yeah. That's the second.
No.
So yeah, no, I think it's been good.
Yeah, Decore booked a yellow card. Disappointed I am to see Wilson go off. I thought he deserved the opportunity to stay on and try and get his first hat trick in a Newcastle shirt. Understand, I suppose, that Bruce feels the game's won and you just want him to get injured. I can understand that. He is our only goal threat that we have. ADB, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Thanks very much. If you want to join ADB doing that, then please just click the join button. You can donate as much or as little as you want. And Keith just mentioned what we mentioned earlier on the show, that Sir Bobby Charlton has been diagnosed with dementia, which is extremely sad news. Frankie Norton points out as well, Al Walid has won because all 3 substitutions have been made. So Joe Linton has not made it onto the pitch, which means, of course, that's 9. Means it's 9 games, which means he lives to fight another day with me, which is good. Dan Mills says he didn't look happy, Wilson, coming off on a hat trick. Why take him off? I think it's probably down to the fact that that he didn't want him to get injured. So that's probably why he is our main striker at the club.
I don't know why he rang him up, didn't he? I don't know why he rang him up, put him on.
Yeah, been a canny good second half, says ADB. Yep, you're not wrong, mate. It's been a productive one anyway. Newcastle 2-0 up, 89 minutes on the clock, plus whatever stoppages we have in this game. There shouldn't be too many, I wouldn't have thought. So let's watch the last couple of minutes before we do our summing up. No VAR to save Everton today, says I think a Liverpool fan who I've seen a few comments tonight. Who came on? Andy Carroll came on for Callum Wilson.
Aloid called that as well.
Does that put to bed the rumour that there's a clause in Joe Linton's contract then? Is that rumour gone now?
Frankie Norton says it must have had a time limit on it, Nathan. He got in there he must have predicted what you were going to say.
Yeah, he knew.
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think that puts that one to bed. Mind, it has dragged on for a season and a bit, hasn't it? So, it's got to be one of the first times that he hasn't come on. Ian Hutchinson says this is the first game that Bruce hasn't played Joe Linton. It probably is, mate. The fact that we're all talking about it.
Where is that from?
God knows.
Oh, 6 minutes.
Well, that's 6 minutes is from Chris Hall's house, I think.
Oh, from Chris Hall's house. That's the reason. First game ever without Joe Linton in the league since he has been here, which begs the question, why always give him time if not contracted? Good point, Stuart. Daniel Reid says, good watch. Thank you, mate. On Match of the Day tonight, it will be. Liverpool, 6 minutes extra time. Yes, thanks. Liverpool lads will be over the moon. Yeah, there's a few on here today who were already.
Oh, no.
2-1.
Yeah, Everton have just scored.
Good.
And it was
Newcastle.
A very good goal.
Goals in the last 5 minutes.
Very good goal by Calvert-Lewin.
I hope they don't do a reverse on us on that 2-2 that we got on them.
Yeah. Hope they don't do that.
Yeah, it was a great ball.
It was deflected.
It was a great ball in from wide on the right, attacking the Leazes end. Deflected off Lewis, unfortunately, who did try to jump and get out of the way of it. Clipped his heels. Calvert-Lewin nipped in at the front post. Fernandez stopped. Jamal Lascelles stopped, and Darlow was beaten at the front post. So we have a game on our hands with 4.5 minutes left.
I hope you don't get us back for that 2-2 last season.
Stuart Penman says 3-1 is back on, he says.
He scored. Lejeune scored two goals in the injury time, didn't he? I was in the away end for that. I couldn't talk for about 2 hours afterwards. My throat had gone. Unbelievable.
Did you get left back? Did you get left back in the house?
Yeah, she let me back in.
Okay.
She let me back in, but she looked very happy.
Come on.
Bring it into the corners.
Let this slip now.
So deep.
It is definitely squeaky bum time at St James's Park with 4 minutes left. Newcastle 2, Everton 1.
All game.
Yeah, that's what happened when you lose your weapons.
Corner.
Jesus Christ. Come on.
So it goes back to the old adage, though, lads, is it not, that attack is the best defence?
I don't know where the 6 minutes come from either. That's ridiculous.
No, I don't either. Seems very bizarre, doesn't it?
Steve Bruce shouting out focus, lads, in the chat.
Come on, this is where we need cattle. Come on. Out.
Oh,
he nearly scored.
Wrong goal.
He had it
Wrong
covered.
goal.
He knew what he was doing.
Was that off his man bun? Yeah.
Yeah, Andy Carroll won the header and headed it back to Darlow. He knew what he was doing. It was straight off his man bun and straight into Darlow's hands.
Come on, lad.
Newcastle hold on. 3 minutes left.
Down the wings.
No.
Oh.
What was that? Just give him the.
Oh.
One thing Newcastle aren't good at is keeping possession and keeping a hold of the ball in situations like this.
Spenny, are you all right?
Come on,
Should be a basic. Should be a basic.
That's out.
Yeah, that one's gone. Ball's out for a throw in.
We can never do anything simple, can we?
Steve looks sick.
Yeah, he's fiddling with his nose. He's like trying to put it back in shape.
Yeah, it's that running.
Come on, we're just running into the corner.
Murphy gives a card. No.
That's become our official test card. The FIFA as the pie for good measure. Another yellow card. Another yellow card for another Everton player. Time racing. Yeah. No, it was Jacob Murphy for time racing.
Yeah. Come on.
Free
One
kick.
booking.
Hold to the ball.
Come on.
Okay. Clear this and
Watch your hands. Watch your hands.
Oh,
There, now.
What happened there? Jesus.
Yeah, it
Gotta
was
be
unlucky.
careful.
Everton with a free kick.
I don't know why-
Newcastle cleared it onto the Everton. Cleared it onto the Everton striker, and the Everton striker took the ball out. Just hopefully there's no VAR checks or anything here.
no.
Yeah, Calvert-Lewin
Minute to go.
pushed Carroll down. Really lent into Carroll. Carroll hit the floor. Fernandez
Last
then
minute.
kicked the ball into their number 5, whoever that is. So we're into the final minute of the game, extra time.
Come on, lad. Get rid of it.
Newcastle United still 2-1 up in the Premier League. Big 3 points this for Newcastle if they can just hold on.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
That's it.
this is torture.
Oh, God. This is horrible.
Another corner.
Oh,
Yeah, another corner.
Oh,
That's a
30
great thing.
seconds.
man, that way.
30 seconds to go.
come on.
Oh, keeper's up.
Keep us up. Keep us up.
Darlow did manage to tip that one over. A corner now.
Oh, yeah, keep us up, yeah, see him.
Osman's up for Everton.
Load up, ref.
Last
I hate
last
the,
throw of the
the keeper
last
thing.
throw of the
Never
dice.
works. I don't know why they do that.
last throw of the dice. Olsen's up there.
Come on, get this. Get this.
Come on, lads, clear it. Clear it.
Get this.
Yes!
Yes.
Oh, no.
Well
Alright,
done.
that's
Well
that.
done,
Oh,
Dog.
Donald, do it.
Exactly what we needed.
No, hold
Darlow.
on to
Well
it.
done, Dog.
Hold on to it. Slow it down.
Safest hands in soccer, Darlow. Spenny's fell up his settee. Olsen
gotta
running
be
back to goal.
Big
It's
kick.
got to be
Get
it
this.
now.
Blow it. Come on.
96 minutes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hope Chris Hall eats tonight.
I don't care. I don't care.
So I was holding this in the chat, but I didn't want to jinx it. When was the last time that Newcastle defeated a club that was entering the weekend at the top of the table? Like Newcastle in the 90s? I mean,
Very good.
Yeah, Man United.
We'll ask Andre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's one for Andre, and he's not here today. But listen, that is a good result. It is a good win. Normally, I'm quite negative about Steve Bruce, but we'll give him credit. He had to put a team out to beat that team today, and he did it. He got his substitution right, and for me, Newcastle deserved the victory. It was a tight game at times, but Newcastle deserved that. A 2-1 win. 3 points in the bag, another 3 points towards survival. Newcastle fans will be very, very happy tonight, as are the Liverpool fans who are on the chat. Hope you enjoyed it. Nicole, thank you for your input tonight, and thanks everybody for watching. Daz, we'll come to you, seeing as though Spenny has disappeared. Give us your review of the game, please, and your man of the match.
Yeah, delighted with the results. Absolutely delighted, especially with the Everton being top of the table or close to the top of the table. Man, the match. I think I'd probably go with Fernandez. The back three did well. Amiron did well as well. He does what he does best, running all over the place. But he's not looking happy. He's not playing in the position he wants to play in. But he's doing a job for us. Murphy had a good game as well. And I remembered a question that you asked on the girls' show actually a couple of weeks ago before the Wolves game. How many points do you think we get out from the next 5 games? I had it down as 4. So we have those 4 already. So anything else we get from here on in is a bonus for me. But on the man of the match, I'm saying Fernandez.
Okay, I'm going to give mine to Callum Wilson for his brace. I thought he was outstanding again today. Ran the channels last week and got very little service. Did exactly the same today. Got his penalty, took it well. It was a pressure penalty, and he got that wonderful strike, goal poacher as he is, at the death to secure the points for us. So I'm going to give it to Wilson. What about you, Al Walid?
For me, I think Steve Bruce have Italian roots. And it's a great that he beat the Italian, one of the best Italian coach, Carlo Ancelotti, in the defense. For me, as you said, I expected, by the way, 2-1 for Newcastle. First time I get my guessing right. I'm with you, Wilson. He's the man of the match because the opportunity he made to himself. He feel isolated. He came backward and he did some assist, the dangerous opportunities. If I choose a second best player, I will go for Murphy. Second match in the row for him, and he did very well. And I think he better than Manquillo on the right back, the right side.
Okay, good stuff, Chris. Your man of the match and your review of the game, please.
Yeah, Wilson got the goals and the glory, but I think that Murphy did put in the shift, and he's my man of the match.
Okay, Nathan.
Yeah, I think man of the match for me has got to be Wilson. I think he's fed off scraps again today. Not a great deal of service, but he had a few good balls provided to him, and he made the most of the chances that he had, and that's all you can ask of him, isn't it? So. Yeah, Wilson definitely for me. I thought Murphy was really good again. I think he's really making that position his own on the. I think even if we were to go back to 4 at the back, I probably would prefer Murphy over the other 2 lads. To be honest, still at this point, going off the last 2 games. So yeah, Wilson for me, but I thought Murphy had a good game as well. And to be fair, the 3 centre halves they looked quite solid today as well for once. So that's quite good.
Okay, good stuff, mate. Spenny, your review of the game and your man of the match, please.
I thought that we played well defensively wise, and we kept the ball in the midfield for a change, which we have been struggling the games before that. My man of the match, I would go for Almiron. I thought Almiron was outstanding today. He's running and all that, and his forward play. Wilson did have a good game, but he'll get all the credits because he got the 2 goals. There was some good displays by a few of the players, but I'm going to go for Almiron.
Good stuff. Cheers, Spenny. Pete, your man of the match and your review of today's game.
Fully deserved the win. I think the fact that Everton have got a goal on the scoreboard flatters them. I don't think they even deserved the goal today. I thought we were very, very good defensively. And yeah, man of the match, like many others, Callum Wilson's fantastic today. Some of the selfless work that he does off the ball is so good to see, and it's nice to see our strikers working as hard as he does, and he deserves his goals off the back of that. So 100% man of the match for me. Honourable shout out for me, Fabian Shaw. With lots of fans have been on his back recently for his performances. They haven't been good enough, but you know what? I thought he would play really, really well today. And that's the kind of the Fabian Shaw that we saw in last season. So, yeah, very impressed to see him back to form again today. Hopefully that continues. But as Dave said, the centre backs, the back 3 were fantastic. Very, very good, all 3 of them.
Great stuff. Joey Collins, you can come back, mate. Good win on your debut, son.
Just no Joe Linton coming on, man.
And you stop Big Joe coming on. You can definitely come back. Go on, mate. Your review of the game and your man of the match.
I think we played well today. To be quite honest, we stifled Everton. Everton never looked, apart from the last 6 or 7 minutes, Everton never looked really like they were going to be getting into the game. For me, my man of the match probably is going to be mirroring what everyone else is saying. It has to be Wilson for the 2 goals. But I must say, Fraser, when he came on, that's the best I've seen him in a Newcastle shirt. He looked really lively, and Everton didn't seem to be able to handle him very well. He looked pacey and he looked fit. So, hopefully he might get a run of games in the team now and start to make a bit of an impact, because I haven't been as impressed by him so far playing for Newcastle. But one other player I want to single out today is Jeff Pendrick. I think, although he hasn't been spectacular today, I feel like he was a much improved performance. He stifled the midfield, and he did a lot of work that probably went under the radar a little bit. But yeah, he looked quite solid today. That's probably since the West Ham game at the start of the season. That's the best I've seen him play for us. So all in all, positives. It wasn't entertaining by any means. It was workmanlike. Still room for improvement. We were sitting too deep in areas towards the end of the game, but all in all, you can't really be that upset. We played well for long periods of the game, and it was deserved 3 points in the end.
It was. Chris Hall?
It was a toss-up between 2 for me, Steve. I thought it would be, well, for me, it's either Miggy Almiron or it's Sean Longstaff. I thought Sean was great today. He came in, and it felt a bit more like the Longstaff of old. I thought he did really well, and he kept things ticking over. Do you know what? I'm gonna give it to Sean Longstaff. I think, as I say, it was nice. We had legs in the midfield, as Joey's just said. Hendrick was much improved, but a few players could have got it today. Obviously, Wilson took his penalty really well under a lot of pressure, and then nicked in at the end. Fox in the box. That's what we need. A proper number 9 who can acknowledge runs and knows where to be at the right time. Fraser turned the game. Shah came back, and again, I think, as I said the other week, he looks much more settled with a 3 at the back, the 3 centre-halves. He looks far better in that, and Shah did really well. But yeah, I think today for me, because it's so much improved on what we've seen previously, I'm going to say Longstaff.
Fantastic, mate. Martin, last but not least, your review of the game and your man of the match, please.
Yeah, I think it was a good game. I think we played a lot better than we did against Wolves last week. I thought Fraser coming on, great impact, definitely pace. So I think he can do more damage this season. The ball from Lewis, I thought, was cracking. I thought Hendrick and Longstaff did a good job in the midfield. I thought the back 3 was steady. So yeah, no complaints. But for me, man of the match, I think, look, Wilson will get the goals and the headlines and the paper write up. But I think purely from a fact of him getting better game on game and starting to have a bit of an influence, I'm going to give it to Jacob Murphy, because I think the lad has really come on this season. And I think he's starting to make a difference in the team, and hopefully sees him cement a place. I think it gives Bruce maybe a bit of a headache as to where does he fit the likes of a Fraser if he's going to play Almiron and ASM. So, probably a season ago we didn't have those headaches. So, they're probably nice ones for a coach to have. Let's just hope Bruce gets them right. But Jacob Murphy, for me, I thought the lad's done really well.
Yeah, good stuff. I think somebody coined it in the chat, really, that it's amazing today. We've all got like more or less different man of the matches. We've all maybe gone 1 or 2, but it's good that the team have put up a really good performance today, which we have to agree has resulted in a great 2-1 win. We will be back for Match Day Live next Friday. Friday the 6th of November. Newcastle will be travelling to Southampton, and it's an 8 o'clock kickoff on Sky. Should be an interesting game, that for certain. I will, of course, be back tomorrow night with Ladies' Night, and that will be at the slightly later time, as usual, of 7:30. Big thank you to our sponsors. As always, we've got a main sponsor who have come on board, and you're going to have to get ready again. It's Alwaleed this time. There you are, Alwaleed. Can you get your head in the hat? Yeah, well done, mate. Big shout out to newworkwear.com, specialists in the supply and branding of clothing for the workplace. Big shout out to them. Big thanks, of course, as well to our good friends at qtechshop.co.uk, the makers of pool tables and snooker tables in the northeast in Wallsend, who also knock up these rather snazzy t-shirts, which you can buy at newcastlelegends.com. Big shout out to Jab and Cross Paths, who've been on the journey on the channel with me since day one as well, which has now got 33,000 subscribers. So thanks very much for all your connections. Thanks for all your subscriptions. It's free to subscribe. If you're a new visitor, please subscribe today. That's it. Enjoy the rest of your night. Go and enjoy Manchester United and Arsenal and whatever else you're doing on this wonderful Sunday evening. Keep your chin up and don't forget, like we discussed earlier in the week, if you're feeling a little bit down, make sure you speak to somebody. Okay, take care, guys. Good night. God bless.
Goodbye. Get in. See you later, lads.